Hello, everyone. Welcome to Frame Trap. Today, I am joined by Michael Huber at the end. Bradley Ellis in the middle.
I'm back.
You're back again.
Who is this, 3 in a row?
Yeah, we had somebody drop out at the last minute, and so Brad heroically after the Kingdom Hearts stream jumped in.
Heroic leap
And jumped in, doing a hat trick of duty here on Frame Trap. Thank you, Brad.
No problem.
I'm going to be hosting you through this. I am Ben Moore, and doing this episode. This is the first episode of 2020. We're coming up on 100.
Oh my God, we're in 2020 now?
We're not in 2020 when we're recording this.
Oh no, I'm playing along with the bit.
Okay.
Like, they're doing this at 2020. Sick.
Yeah, you're seeing future us.
Dude, Final Fantasy VII's coming out soon.
Final Fantasy VII's coming out soon. We're coming up on 100 episodes of Frame Trap. Just FYI, this is episode 98.
Dude,
98 degrees.
do you know who was on the first episodes? Oh, it was us.
Yeah.
Kyle?
And Kyle,
Yep.
I think. Yeah.
In your apartment.
In my apartment.
Wow.
There were Persona wall scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's actually
been
crazy
100
going back to
episodes?
those first
Wow.
episodes.
Three
It's,
different eras of Frame Trap.
3 different eras.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Star Wars.
Yep.
3 different eras.
Third
Yeah.
time's charm.
Oh, it's poetry, dude. It all
It's
rhymes.
it's like poetry. It rhymes. But yeah, where's your head at going into 2020? What are you thinking about?
Just on Nemesis.
That's it?
What about the Buster Sword?
Thanks for watching.
Nothing but Nemesis
But
right
what
now.
about Buster Sword with bandages on it?
Not even Joel and Ellie right now. Just Nemesis.
Wow.
At this very moment.
Just
Last like week or two, replayed Nemesis
So you're saying
on stream.
is we should have Jones review Last of Us 2 now?
No.
Yo, he couldn't even play along with the bit for that
No.
one. He
No.
couldn't even play along with the bit. He just wanted to make that clear. No.
I said the most controversial statement to Beth in private that I just feel like
I'm about to share it there.
Yeah, that I'm about to. I was like, never tell anyone. I'm in a mood right now to just say it. I was like, yeah, I'm really excited to review The Last of Us Part 2 again because I'm really happy to give another 10.
That doesn't seem a very controversial statement from Michael Huber. That seems like business.
I'm kidding.
Dude, what was it? Monsters University. 10.
Monsters University to 10. Yeah. Dude, Huber, Blood is going to give you the code for Last of Us 2, and then you're going to hand him the script. It's going to be like,
Already done. Yeah.
Totally kidding. Totally
yeah.
kidding.
Yeah. I am, Doom is at the forefront of my mind.
Woo.
Just because I feel like I was expecting it in November, and so
Yeah.
I'm extra hungry.
What a nice cool off on the holidays with Doom.
Yeah. But you, I'm assuming, are thinking about the Buster Sword.
Oh, yeah. All day. Because it's it's sooner than all the other games we just talked about. It's coming out before all those.
Is
March?
it coming out before Doom?
March 3rd. Yeah.
Oh,
Doom's the
damn.
end of March. March 3rd, baby. We're getting there, dude.
Dude, March, April, look out.
March,
March,
April,
April
boom, boom, boom.
2020, best of all time.
I mean, you got to delete your calendar.
Yeah.
Come March.
March, April.
I'm
is
going on
nuts.
vacation.
Delete.
That's my
Nuts.
vacation, dude.
Cyberpunk is in there.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk is April.
Last of Us is in there. Remake 3.
Sorry, is Last of Us May? Did it get? I don't remember. It got
Like
delayed.
April now, I think.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Or is it May?
New Horizons.
I don't remember.
It was like Valentine's Day.
It was, yeah. I can't remember.
Persona 5 Royal.
Royal?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
We're just saying game titles now.
But it's
Yeah.
all coming
It's like fever pitch.
really soon.
Those are going to be some good episodes of Frame Trap, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Coming
be
up.
on it for
They
2 months straight.
they do really seem a lot closer than like a couple weeks ago just because of the calendar.
Yeah, once
turn,
you get into
know?
the 2020, once it's actually 2020,
Yeah.
it gets real.
Yeah.
We are actually recording this Frame Trap much sooner than we normally do. A little bit over a week after we shot the last one. Normally we have 2 weeks to play games and stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be going away on my honeymoon, so
Yeah.
that's why we're doing it early.
Yeah.
But I was worried that we were going to have slim pickings for games, and they're not necessarily the hottest up-and-comers, but it's a good batch of games. And Huber really had a lot that he wanted to bring.
It's because I was sick for 2 weeks, man.
You
Just
were
sat on the
sick,
couch.
you got caught up.
Gaming.
I feel like you watched. So I'm on episode 4 of The Witcher, and I just want to say, because the last time on Frame Trap, we talked about The Witcher, and I'd only seen episode 1.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's decent, it's cool. It's gotten a lot better.
Yes.
It's gotten a lot better.
It's
so I've,
really good.
Yeah, I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 2 really captivated me.
I really encourage not to binge it. I watched the first 4 episodes
In a row?
No.
Oh.
One at a time,
Okay.
each night. Watched one.
So
watched
I
one.
did episode 2 and 3 back to back.
Yeah.
And the reason I did that is because it actually made sense talking about because it's the beginning of a storyline and it wraps up a storyline. And so
Totally.
it felt very coupled.
Yeah, I think I just watching like one at a time. I just really liked because the way it messes with like time and events.
Yeah.
They do really feel like standalone, even though it's like there's narrative through lines.
Yeah.
But
Yennefer,
really good
man.
show, dude.
Yennefer.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch more.
Really good show. And super awesome, if you're worried that, I haven't played the games, it's all prequel stuff.
Yeah.
So dive right into The Witcher show, see if you like the world, characters.
I love this. I love when shows are formatted this way. I love hour-long episodes, but it is hard to binge for me anyway.
Yeah.
I know other people are probably different, but for me it's hard to do all right, I'm going to do all 8 hour-long episodes of this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I know some people did that.
Because then I watched like 5 and 6 together, and it's too much for me personally. And then like when 6 started, they're like, "Hey, haven't seen you in a while," and it's like, "But we just saw
did.
that." Yeah, so it's like I really feel like it's a one a night type deal.
That's what I actually.
But you can watch however the hell.
I
you want.
actually thought it really added to The Mandalorian watching that week to
Per
week.
week, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was really good.
for sure.
But speaking of games, Hubert, you brought a game that I'm really happy that you brought, a game that I need to get back to, and that is Ace Combat 7.
Hell yeah.
Skies Unknown.
Hell yeah. This game is sick as hell.
I feel like you were intending to play this for a really long time, and
The
you
whole
finally
year.
got there,
The
and now
whole year.
you love it.
Mm-hmm. I love this series. I love how serious the stories are in Ace Combat games. And the fact that it's
The
like,
story in 7 is wild.
yeah. And the fact that there's not a lot of Ace fighter jet
Jet
games,
games, yeah.
This is really it. If you're a baseball fan, it's like, hey, play the show. If you're a fighter jet fan, play Ace Combat.
Right.
Excuse me. Really, really solid game. A ton of story, think Metal Gear style.
That's what I'm hearing.
With this story just building on the foundation set in the previous games with the countries and the politics. So there's a lot. And if you're not into that, then that's unfortunate because then maybe Ace Combat isn't for you because there's just a lot of story. There's a lot of stuff going on.
And just thinking about how the story of Ace Combat 7 unfolds, they dump a lot of information on you pretty quickly.
Yes. Yeah, before a mission, you beat a mission before you start the next one. We're talking maybe sometimes 15 minutes.
Whoa.
Big cutscene. Then kind of the mission briefing can be really long. Like, hey, here's what we're doing.
Whoa.
Very intense.
I feel like something Ace Combat 7 does, though, and this could just be because I'm not like an Ace Combat expert by any means, but something that I really walked away from with Ace Combat 7 that I find like not a lot of games are able to do. When you play a game and there's just like a lot of filler where you you have a mission and you're like, I didn't really have to think to get through that.
Yeah.
I feel like Ace Combat 7 is so good at making missions just feel intense and unique
100%.
and like I love that feeling of like getting by the skin of your teeth.
Yes.
And it's really fantastic.
Challenging game.
Yes.
On normal. This game is challenging.
Yeah.
You cannot change the difficulty as well. You're locked in. So be careful if you're thinking about jumping in. Normal is pretty difficult. Some of the checkpoints and levels can be brutal. There's a mission, for example, that is like timed. It's like, you have 15 or 20 minutes to do this task. If you don't do it, start from the beginning. So you can waste like 20, I tried.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
I definitely feel
Pretty brutal, pretty
like,
unforgiving.
for me, it was a game where I had to learn through failure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it was like, oh, okay, I need to find like a new route, a new
Yes.
method of attack to take out all these things.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's never excruciating, though. Like, it can be frustrating to waste 20 minutes. Like, crap, I failed that. I got to do that all over again. That happens once in a while. They kind of fold in shorter and easier, more straightforward missions in between kind of the harder
Yeah,
ones.
I do think because of the style and the way that it was playing out for me, it was a game I had to be in the right mood for.
Definitely.
Like, I couldn't just be like, oh, just throw it on. It was like, all right, we're doing this.
combat,
Yeah, we're going to
yes,
fail.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Ben, you were talking about just the mission variety, I guess, is really solid, from destroy all the fighters to bomb this base to sneak into this area under the clouds. Some night missions, just really solid pace and progression, really good economy. You can buy planes, upgrade them, outfit them with different weapons. That stuff's really addicting. And there's a multiplayer mode, which isn't terrible. There's like a death match.
I have not spent a single second with the multiplayer.
What's awesome is even if you're in dead last, you get some cash to use in single player, so you're not wasting time.
Oh, it carries over.
Carries over.
Oh.
The semi-annoying part, but I'm always give and take on this, is there's a multiplayer upgrade tree. So when I went into some matches, like I was just hopelessly... But then, like, taking them out is really cool because it's like I got nothing.
But do the upgrades feel super substantial? Where you feel behind?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's just, like, easier lock on with your missiles. Stronger missiles, like.
Gotcha.
So that stuff can be kind of annoying if you're starting out, especially this late in the game. The game's been out for a year. But pretty competent, pretty fun dogfighting. Just everyone flying around, attacking each other.
What is cool about Ace Combat 7, I'm going to make a comparison to the Tony Hawk games.
Awesome.
Is I don't have knowledge really of planes or like dogfights or anything. Like I think it's cool, but I'm approaching it from the outside. But I love when you play a game that's maybe not set in with an area that you're familiar with, but you can feel their love and enthusiasm for it. Like you get that with Gran Turismo, right? You get that with like Tony Hawk made me excited about skateboarding. Like there was just a way that they presented it. It had this energy to it. I think Ace Combat 7 has that as well.
Totally. There is a massive history in this world of all these factions that's above my head. I started with PS2. I started with like Ace Combat 3 or 4, whatever that one is. So a lot of this stuff is like, what is happening? But they're so into it, and it is well told that you can't help but get invested in it.
Nice. So you've played through the story and dabbled with
I
some
finished
multiplayer.
it. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like it's so long between Ace Combat stuff that
6 was a very long time ago. It was last gen.
It
was last gen.
They did it like free to play Ace Combat. Not too terribly long ago, but
yeah, 6 was a long time ago. So took a really long time. I remember, this got delayed a couple times, I feel like.
Yeah.
And they were doing the whole VR thing.
Have
which
you tried
I didn't dabble with?
Oh, yeah. I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get motion sickness from that, but I am curious about it. But I was worried. I was like, this is a lot of hassle to probably get motion sickness with like, doing loops. And what's cool is that I heard the VR mode takes place during 4 or something.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Dude, I got to watch a Ace Combat lore video.
Totally.
Yeah.
Catch me up.
Yeah.
What I like about you talking about Ace Combat 7 is you just sound really grateful that it exists.
Yes. I thought that so many times when I was playing it. That's why I had to play it this year. Came out in January, and I was like, I want to play this so bad. And finally I was sick, and I was like, now's the time. I'm doing this.
As you always do, you've gotten me hyped up for Ace Combat 7. I gotta go back and finish it, man.
You were saying it's kind of hard to dive into. You gotta be in the mood, but I appreciate that it's mission based. I always find it a little easier to kind of jump into games that are mission based.
Yeah, I feel like I've been away from it for so long, and I do this a lot where I'm like, I'll just restart.
Yeah,
just
totally.
Go over.
Good stuff. If you're into dogfighting, check it out.
Good game to start us off.
Hell yeah.
I think an appropriate follow up for Ace Combat 7 is Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh yeah. I've been meaning to play this game forever.
What a hell of a game. Brad, you just finished
it.
Yeah,
I beat it like a day or two ago.
And you are a man well versed in the Metroidvanias.
I've dabbled.
I still don't love saying that word.
Yeah, but it's not probably the best satisfying word, but everyone knows what you're talking about when you say it.
Exactly.
So that's why I think it's still a pretty acceptable term.
What did you think of Ori and the Blind Forest?
Super gorgeous game visually. Like this game looks really good, man. Exploration was good. I was very pleased. So I really like Metroidvanias that have a lot of platforming elements to it. That's why I like Guacamelee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's some really hard stuff in this game. I mean, I played this game on hard. I think there's one more difficulty, like insane. But I died a lot in this game. I think I died like 300 something times.
I mean, it's funny that we were talking about Ace Combat 7 and the satisfaction of the challenge.
Yeah.
That is something that I really appreciated about Ori is I don't know if I would say like Ori and the Blind Forest is a hard game, but it has challenge to it.
Yeah.
That makes
when I played on hard, I definitely had to like focus up.
Yes.
That's what I wanted.
You
from
have to
it.
focus.
Yeah,
I think it's a good way
that's
of
what I
saying
wanted from it, though. I didn't want
Yeah.
to just cruise through, which is fine, but like I like to sometimes be pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
Really good exploration. The combat was my least favorite part of the game because
Sure.
it's not bad or anything like that, but pretty much it boils down to you just like shooting little things at people, and that's kind of it. I'm like, it's all right, I guess. Like some Metroidvania games, like I liked engaging with combat. Like I think of Hollow Knight or something. Like the combat was still very enjoyable, and this I'm just kind of like, just move along from it.
Yeah, Brad, I totally agree with that. I think like thinking back on my time with Ori and the Blind Forest, combat is not really sticking out.
No,
but it was just how good it felt to move through that world.
exactly.
Where, like,
the
movement
game has
was
great
so...
movement. Like you could use some of the abilities, I guess, in combat. Like there's this ability where you could like launch off someone, I would say, and you could change which direction. Whatever direction you go, they go the opposite. So you can use that in combat, and there's some cool situations like that. But yeah, I think the game's biggest strength is its movement and flow.
Yes.
Not too long either. Took me like 7 hours, I think.
Yeah, not a lot of...
And I think that was the complete
filler.
edition or whatever.
And just good secrets, like fun, trying to find everything.
Yeah, worthwhile. You know, you get your XP things to get new skill points, which are nice. You get permanent health upgrades. Interesting save system in the game. So you have these orbs at the bottom, like you have your health orbs and you have like these spirit orbs. These spirit orbs are used to do some abilities.
Right.
But you also use them to save, and you can save pretty much anywhere in the game. But if you don't have any orbs, you can't save.
Yep.
So it kind of like introduces this element of, do I want to use this thing or I don't want to save here?
Yeah.
So it's like when you get through a huge thing, you're like, okay, I can take a break, save right here, then help me navigate through this.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. It has a nice balance where you're not... I didn't feel like I had unlimited saves. I got to a point where I was like pretty comfortable with saving, but I was still thinking about, should I use one here? Should I try to go a little further with this, see if I can? So yeah, it was a nice little touch.
More games should make saving / checkpoints interesting. Like I think of Shovel Knight and just like that decision of like, do I break
this really small thing?
Right.
It's really small, but it can make you think about it actually quite a bit.
Right. An interesting decision.
Ink ribbons.
Ink ribbons.
Ink ribbons, exactly.
Ink
yeah.
Ink ribbons.
Love ink ribbons.
Yeah. Brad, just thinking about Ori and being like, oh man, like it was fun just moving through that world and exploring. How much movement dictates how much I want to see of a game? Like I think about Spider-Man, right? And I did so much in Spider-Man because it was just the act of going through the world was so much fun. Whereas in other games where it's like you know when you play a game and you're like, I really like this game, but I'm kind of getting sick of just like moving from point A to point B.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
feeling. Yeah. Trying to think of a good example.
Classic Assassin's Creed feeling.
Sure. Assassin's Creed could feel that way.
Yeah. It's like, do I want to go out of my way to grab that chest over there that I don't need at all?
So,
nah.
I could bring up one. Might be slightly controversial. I love this game. Don't get me wrong. Luigi's Mansion 3. Just sometimes battling the normal ghosts. I'm just like, okay. It's kind of like move this along. Just move it along a little bit. Like there's some really great. Don't get me wrong. This game's awesome.
And Brad was never invited for this game.
There's just sometimes
we can criticize and still love.
Just sometimes
I know.
I wanted to move on. But yeah, I think it's a really solid game. The sequel was coming out, so I was like, dude, I gotta play this. Like it's now or never kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was on Games Pass, so I was like, oh well, I have it, so might as well play it.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the appropriate time for this, but shout out to Microsoft.
Shout out.
I've been playing a lot of PC, I've been playing a lot of Xbox, and the reason for that is I've been in the Star Wars kick where I've just been playing an unhealthy amount of Star Wars games, like all of them.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah, you've played an insane amount.
Yeah, and
You're a crazy person.
All of them.
Something that I just really appreciate is taking like my old Xbox discs and being able to pop them into my Xbox One, and they look great.
Yeah.
And like just going to the store and being like, oh, I don't have this, it's $5 or whatever, and downloading it, and just that backwards compatibility is so nice.
I had a thought.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up. Sidebar time.
Sidebar time.
Will backwards compatibility next gen erase the need for remasters? Will remasters go extinct next gen if everything is backwards compatible?
Well, it depends how enhanced the version, if it enhances at all. Like,
Just
a lot of the
like,
remasters are like higher.
Exactly, way more effort with a remaster.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that's something you have to pay for, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So will people just be like, I'm not paying for like
Maybe.
a little bit better. I'd rather just backwards compatible it for free.
I guess it depends on the severity of it.
Well,
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, crap, if everything's backwards compatible,
Yeah.
what's the hell is the point of a remaster?
I'm always
I will-
amazed at like there's still so much more they can remaster.
Yeah.
Like the well seems to keep going.
Love remasters.
I also think it's interesting in Microsoft's case where like you Games Pass it. You say, hey, you know, this is enhanced and it's on Game Pass. You can play it right now. I don't know, but
Interesting to see it next gen. What happens with all that?
there are a lot of things that Microsoft is doing that makes me very excited for next gen Microsoft. Like, I really think they stumbled out the gate here, but they seem to have learned so much, and so I am excited to see where they go.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I think those studio acquisitions
Was a
promising.
next
I
gen
think
move.
it was like, they have to do this. You have to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree that they had to do something, but like, I really want to play Hellblade 2.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Hellblade!
I wish I could have reacted to that trailer with you.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Did I tell you how I reacted to it? Just because I was working during it?
No, tell me.
And like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say. I will just say that I was freaking out, but people around me were annoyed by me freaking out. That's all I'm going to say.
At a Game
They just
Award
don't
show?
understand.
Yeah.
At a Game Award show?
Who was
Yeah.
annoyed? Name names.
It's probably just like a bunch of people that don't even care about video games.
Yeah,
just
some
working
people
it.
were like, "What? I don't know what this is." But like, and it was like not the annoyed like. It was like the annoying kind of annoyed. They were like offended by me being excited, you know, and they were like, "You need to relax." It's like,
Well, you know what? Fuck them.
Yeah, it's like, dude, Hellblade 2 just got announced as a next gen game.
Yeah.
This is a dream. I'm gonna react appropriately. This is freaking awesome.
I mean, like, I get it. Certain things have certain decorum, but like,
I wasn't like screaming or anything.
if we think about what happened at the Game Awards and we think about Jeff Keighley talking to Mirage for 20 minutes and like Green Day flipping off the audience for
They did?
an entire song,
Holy crap.
like, you getting excited about Hellblade 2 doesn't really seem out of
That
place with the
far-fetched,
vibe that that show is going
Yeah.
for. I don't know. Yeah.
Like Keighley himself would probably be pumped at the level of excitement shown for Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it all.
Should have asked him.
I would love to get Keighley on frame. I would love an unguarded,
An unguarded Jeff Keighley.
I like.
Is that possible?
He
Loves
worked.
games.
Fun fact: he worked on the manual for the instruction manual for Jedi Outcast.
How cool is that, dude?
That's
That's what I want to talk to him about. How did
why
that
did we
happen?
not get that signed by him? Next time anything
I mean, you're the one with you and Kyle have all the Keighley connections.
Next time anything Keighley goes down, dude, will he allow that?
I'm just
will
gonna
he
say
sign
it. You and Kyle, you're keeping Keighley for yourself.
Yeah,
you're
quit
being
being so
selfish. You're
selfish,
being
dude.
selfish with your.
I don't have
Keighley.
Keighley access. I do not have Keighley access.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
There's no access.
All right.
But I'm gonna try to get that manual signed, dude.
Do you still? I don't have my Jedi Outcast manual anymore.
I think I have the old PC box.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, have him send
I
a
had
Half-Life box.
I had growing up. I had this like Tupperware bin of PC manuals, and I
Yeah.
don't think I still had it anymore, and it was the best, man.
Yeah, just lost the time.
PC manuals were the best of the best.
Manuals,
when it came to
period, were
manuals.
sick.
Yes, but
But
old
yeah,
PC, yes.
I mean, everything's
Yeah, yeah.
online now. I guess.
Also, shout out to the Battle Chest. Shout out to the Blizzard.
Warcraft battle chest.
Shout out to the battle chest.
Dude.
Bring
shout
back
out-
battle
Times,
chest.
dude. Holy shit.
Dude, Huber, last time I was on this.
That was the golden age.
Last
dude.
time I was on this show, we talked about the orange box and
5
how
games, 1 box.
how crazy
Yeah.
that was. Like, shout out to
Bring
the
it
orange
back.
box, dude.
Huge shout
Like that
out.
came with
Every
TF2, all Half-Life 2, episodes
Those would
1,
be
2.
Those would be
Portal.
60 each nowadays.
Yeah.
Brad.
Yes.
Speaking of games that you've been meaning to get to forever.
Yes.
Abby and I started Jak and Daxter.
Oh.
Shut the front door right
We
now.
started Jak and Daxter. So Jak and Daxter is a huge gaming blind spot for me.
I'm so
It's for
excited
all
to
of
hear
us.
your thoughts on 2, but let's start with 1.
Let's start with
Yeah.
1. So
You're on just on 1 now?
yeah, just on 1.
You haven't even touched
Precursor.
2?
Haven't touched 2.
Make sure I'm on that frame trip.
Okay. when I played Jak 2.
Yes.
'Kay.
Very, very want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jak and Daxter was something I was always very aware of and knew of, but just for some reason I missed it. Had a PS2, just I don't know why.
I'll
just
tell you
happened.
why, because
There's
Brad and
3
I have
camps.
this conversation
3 camps.
annually.
You choose your camp.
You choose your camp. You have your Ratchet and Clanks, you have your Sly Coopers, and you have your Jak and Daxters.
Ratchet,
You can't-
Sly.
If you hit all the games in all 3 of those franchises on release, shout out
Shout
to
out.
you.
Shout out.
I
Yeah,
had to pick
we
Jak and
actually
Daxter
had-
and Ratchet and Clank, and Sly took the bullet, which is unfortunate.
I don't remember who it was. Shout out to you, but I actually had somebody tweet us like them watching Frame Trap with it. They had their Engage.
I saw that. Yes. yes.
We got multiple picks.
Yes.
I think by multiple I mean like 2. I think that's more than I expected.
That was more than I expected. Yeah, 2.
So
Good
awesome.
job.
So awesome.
Anyway, Jak and Daxter 1. So I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it holds up really, really well. There is some camera finickiness, but it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. The movement is really smooth. It still looks great for like an early PS2 game. Obviously, playing it on the PS4, it's gonna look better. Yada yada yada. But I think fundamentally, it still looks pretty good. Strong art direction. It's a word that we overuse, but I think it is absolutely appropriate for Jak and Daxter. It is incredibly jolly. And what I like about it is the setup for it is quick, but it's engaging. It's like, oh, you're with your buddy Daxter. He falls into this pool. He becomes this creature. It's just immediately endearing. It's got pretty good childish, but pretty good humor to it. But then you're just set off to explore. And I think this is like the moment when I really got into it is they're like, hey, you've just got to get these orbs. Do whatever you want. Like, just go and explore, and we're not going to have loading screens in between levels. And just even the first area that you're in, the jungle, what I like about it is it does that great, what good 3D platformers do, where they give you a lot of space to explore and you feel like you have multiple paths, but it's not like what we were talking about where it's like, oh my God, like it's a pain to get here. Like, you feel like you're constantly uncovering stuff, but then once you kind of get a feel for the place, you're like, oh, it's easy for me to do this shortcut. And then you meet this jolly guy who's like, hey, catch 200 pounds of fish. And you're like, okay. And you go into a mini game and you like,
I remember this.
You've got like the fish, you got to avoid the poison fish. And if you hit like one poison fish, it like poisons the whole thing. It's like,
no.
And it goes really fast. It was pretty intense. And so you got to go and you got to catch all the fish. But the best part about it is he's this guy, and then once you get the fish, he just spends the rest of the time laughing. So like you're like, okay, I did the thing, I got the orb, and then you'll be like above him, and he's just still laughing. He's just like still happy that you got his fish. It's really weird.
It's awesome.
But yeah, the orbs that you have to get, the challenges that you have to get, are nice and varied in the sense that like some of them are more involved than others. It's like, oh, it's right there, and you go and grab it. It's something that the Mario games do very well, right? Like talking about like stars or an Odyssey, talking about the moons, like having them all feel different. I think that's accomplished here. But yeah, excited to play more of it.
Hell yeah.
Jak and Daxter holds up.
Jak and Daxter.
End of 2019, 2020
Still
holds
When
up.
did it
yeah.
come out?
I think 04 maybe.
No,
Like
I think it was
2002?
early. I think it was like 2001.
Wow.
We're gonna look this up live on air. But have you played all of the Jak and Daxter games?
Yeah, but I never finished 3. Finished 1 and 2, got to 3, never
Ooh,
finished.
didn't finish
Did you
the
do?
fight.
Did you do like the PSP ones, like Daxter and Lost
No,
Frontier? Okay.
only for Ratchet and Clank. I'm like a
Secret Agent
completionist with
Clank.
that. That's my number 1 of those three boys.
Yeah.
But
Wait, which one is your favorite?
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
Okay.
here's what's
Above
Ratchet.
Jak and Daxter for sure. Like Ratchet and Clank is a whole nother level for me.
Yeah, I
Think about
haven't.
it.
I haven't.
And I finished Sly 1
Yeah.
way recently.
Yes,
Maybe
me
that was a
too.
couple years ago.
Yeah.
The HD remaster.
Yeah.
But, so need to go back and finish Jak 3 and some Sly Coopers, but
3 more slides. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't finished all the games in any of those series, but
what about main lines for Ratchet and Clank?
no, I haven't.
Wait, you haven't played any Ratchet and Clank?
No.
Did you do A Crack in Time?
I've played A Crack in Time,
Yeah.
but I haven't finished it. And the same with the one that came up before that. I hadn't finished it. The ones I've finished,
Future Quest for Future.
I finished
No.
Into the
Tools
Nexus,
of Destruction.
which was really
Ratchet and
good.
Clank Future Tools of Destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
yeah.
Then Quest
Played
for Booty.
a little bit of that. Played a little bit of Crack in Time, I think.
Okay.
Maybe I haven't played Crack in Time, but I've
sick.
Crack
at least played a little bit of one of those. I finished Into the Nexus, and that was really
Yeah.
where like I got into.
I remember you
Ratchet and
reviewed
Clank.
that.
Yeah. I really liked that game.
Yes.
And just recently, actually, played through Ratchet and Clank 2016.
Nice.
Oh.
Really like that
Solid.
as well. I know people.
I'm a little hard on it.
Yeah, no,
Because to me, it is a regression in some ways.
Yeah,
But
I know-
also,
I know
it's better in a lot of ways.
that people definitely have some bones to pick with that game. I really liked
so
it.
good. So good.
I know I'm not coming from,
Really
a
good.
long-time fan place, but I really like
What
that.
was the multiplayer one we played?
There's a couple. There's like All for One.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Super Mario 3D land.
Yeah.
Or world.
what's Ratchet and Clank 2? Is it Up Your Arsenal?
Going Commando.
Going Commando and then Up Your Arsenal?
Up Your Arsenal.
Okay, what is your favorite one?
I think A Crack in Time, honestly.
Okay.
But Going Commando and Up Your Arsenal are
Huge
phenomenal.
Yeah, I would like.
Phenomenal.
Man, I think after Jak and Daxter, I'd be ready to go back into Ratchet and Clank.
Dude.
Yeah.
The HD
Yeah, Ratchet's so
remaster.
fun.
Even in Ratchet and
so
Clank 2016, like just getting the Rhino cards was a blast, and then having that weapon be so powerful.
Yeah.
Like I just got really excited
Yeah.
collecting all of the weapons in 2016. Like,
Rhino hype.
yeah, and so many of them, like I don't know, they were just so creative and fun, and like going and collecting all the brains was not worth it, but it's about the journey.
Do you think those 3 studios will ever return to those franchises? Like, to me, it seems like Insomniac will return to Ratchet and Clank, but it also
I seem most likely with them.
yeah,
'cause
the
they've
other
been-
2, like Naughty Dog going back to Jak seems like
Yeah.
an impossibility
I don't think-
almost.
Well, they gave Sly 4 to
Sinzaru.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
right.
maybe pass.
And they wanted to make more.
yeah.
So hopefully they'll get to
Man, Sly 1
Was-
is so
that's cool.
good. Yeah, and Sly 2 is
Two's
really good.
two's insanely good. 3 is like all right. 4 is great.
Okay.
4 is great. I love 4.
Those franchises,
Man.
dude. That is why I like definitively fell in love with PlayStation. You know what I mean? And God of War as well. Like that whole era of like God of War, Ratchet, Jak.
PS2 platformers.
I can't even handle how good those games are, dude.
I feel like I'm realizing that pretty much for the last like year or two, I've had like a 3D platformer pocket game.
Nice.
Like I was playing through Ukulele and really loved that. That also unexpectedly, the final boss of Ukulele is insane.
Did you finish it?
Whoa.
I did.
The
finish
dungeon.
it.
The dungeon.
Oh no, Impossible Lair.
Yeah.
So no, I'm actually at the Impossible Lair.
Okay.
We've done all of the levels.
Got it.
And I'm at the Impossible
And it's
Lair.
still impossible.
It is stupidly hard.
That's
It is
funny.
stupidly hard.
Damiani can beat it.
I think
but
Damiani beat
struggles.
it. Yeah, I think he said it took him a long time.
Have you
Yeah,
played
so
A Hat in
we're-
Time?
I have started ahead in time.
Dude, I love
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
I actually just got it on Switch and was playing a little. I was doing Mafia
Ooh,
Town on Switch,
Sick.
and yeah, I think that game is
Yeah.
delightful. It's really fun. I don't love how it looks on Switch.
Sure. I
Um,
played on PC when it came out, so I
yeah,
don't know what it looks
I
like.
started on PC as well, and it's just frustrating, like seeing the downgrade.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun getting the hats
Yeah.
in that game, and yeah, it's just so cute and fun.
Mhm.
3D platformers, man.
Yeah,
That
love
was a
'em.
fun conversation,
Love 'em.
guys. I really enjoyed that.
One that is like I've never played and need to get to Banjo-Tooie. Like
Never
I
played it.
love,
Never
Banjo
touched
Tooie.
it.
I love
So,
Banjo-Kazooie.
yeah, for
I
sure.
love Banjo-Kazooie.
never played
I
to
don't remember
Yeah.
a lot about 2, but at the time I remember not enjoying it as much,
Okay.
but could be totally wrong.
That was at a time when you didn't know that the future was grim. that we
For
were getting
Banjo?
nuts and
Yeah.
bolts.
Yeah.
Like if you told yourself
I
back
woulda,
then when
yeah.
Banjo-Tooie came out, maybe a little more appreciation at the
Oh,
time.
yeah. Yeah, of course.
I just remember when this guy got nuts and bolts, dude. I've never seen him so pissed.
Ugh, I don't want to talk about it, dude. I get so mad just thinking about that game.
Yeah, a lot of people really dislike Ukulele, and I think there are extremely, extremely valid criticisms. I adore that game.
Cool.
I
Awesome.
adore
That's
it.
good.
I adore
Yeah,
it.
when we played Impossible Lair on stream, that was
Yeah.
so much
here's
fun.
the thing. Here's the thing.
That was
Impossible Lair
so
is
fun.
like legit great.
Yeah.
I do think maybe the Impossible Lair itself is like infuriating, but the rest of that game is amazing. Ukulele is rough in a
Yeah.
lot of ways, but it's like
I don't even know if I got to the second world.
the second world is the ice world.
I don't remember. I remember the first one with like
Yeah.
Shovel Knight there and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, what are
The
you
first
doing
world
here?
is really great.
Shovel Knight's just hanging out.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah, he's like,
yeah,
yeah, I think you get him after you, because what's cool about Ukulele is
Shovel
you have
Knight's
all
and
these
everything.
worlds, and you can go and you can play them, and if you want to spend extra pages, you can expand them, and they get you.
Yeah,
have
that's
new
really cool.
challenges
I
and
like
things
that.
Like Yeah, it's
That's
a neat,
cool.
It's a neat concept. Yeah, Ukulele is a rough game that I love.
Sure,
it is
yeah.
like a swim in.
I
for
always
me.
need to go
Yes.
back and play that.
Yeah. Brad, it's
really
a good
wanna play
game
it, yeah.
to chill out to.
Yeah.
Because you can just kind of go and explore and do challenges.
Yeah. I
and-
mean,
yeah.
I don't need a 10.
Yeah, it's not a 10.
I'll take a 7, baby.
One of
Any
those
day.
brutal situations where I bought it full price.
Me too.
And never played it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go back.
Hurts.
Go
that's
back.
like me with
Yeah.
Astral Chain.
But like, if people are interested in ukulele, like Impossible Lair is
great.
great. It is
Yeah.
a great
That
game.
was fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty different from the other ones.
Yeah, it's extremely
2D.
different.
Yeah,
It's
so
it's more Donkey Kong than Banjo Kazooie. But yeah.
hey, as long as it's good.
That was an interesting conversation that we had. But Jak and Daxter, man,
Yeah,
like
hell yeah.
Finding those precursor orbs in Uncharted, it's always fun.
there's precursor orbs in Uncharted.
All of them. There's one hidden one in all of them.
Whoa.
Yep.
I didn't know that,
Better play all the
Yeah.
Uncharted again,
Dude.
Ben.
Yeah, you find precursor orb.
dude.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool when, like, you've just been you had that thing that you just haven't played in forever, and then you play it, and you're like, this is great.
Yeah.
I love
yeah,
this.
it
It's
is
the
great.
best. Yeah.
And you're not, it's not the feeling of
Yeah.
like I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But Huber,
Yo.
as somebody who does not too much care for the Fallout, tell me what you think about the Outer Worlds.
Better than any Fallout game I've ever played. Immediately. Wow, the combat is amazing
Amazing.
for this type of game.
I really like the.
I was not expecting it to be this good.
The
I'm
Outer Worlds.
comparing it to every Fallout game I've ever played, which is like a lot of them. 3, New Vegas, 4.
Sure.
This combat destroys all those games. It
It's-
has a responsiveness and
Yeah.
easiness. The feedback is right.
The feedback
weapons
is much
feel
better.
different.
Yes.
Really, really, really good combat for this kind of game.
Do you like the limb targeting? Like, hey, if you shoot their eyes, you'll
I
blind
just
them?
always aim for the head, shoot him in the
Sure,
face
sure,
every
sure.
single time, no matter what.
Yes.
So
Shoot him in the face.
How are you finding the different weapons?
shotgun is okay.
I love how you interpreted
Yep.
that question.
Yeah. Shotgun is okay. Seen a lot better, seen a lot worse. I give it a passing grade. It passes, but it's nothing to write home about. Really big on the pistols and the assault rifle though.
Huber,
The assault rifle kind of has that like Winchester vibe, but it's a machine gun still.
I early on I really liked the pistols.
Yeah.
And I just took a pistol and like tinkered it and
Yeah.
just like made it crazy.
I'm going all the way with pistols.
Yeah.
I'm a
Pistols are very good.
I'm a smuggler bounty hunter character basically.
It's hard though because as much as I enjoy pumping up like weapon skills and
Yeah.
destroying people, it's also like I want persuade. Like I want
I get 10 points every time I level up. 5 to guns, 5 to dialogue. Every time.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
How are you?
What I can't solve with a gun, I can solve with conversation and vice versa.
So
I
how
love
you-
this game. Oh
how
my
are you
god, I
feeling
love this
about
freaking
the
game.
companions? Tell me about the companions.
Nuanced,
Nuance.
complex. A lot. I again, I've only finished the first planet here. I combed it, did a lot of side quests, a lot of engagement with the first planet. Put like my playtime's at 5 hours already on the first planet alone.
Yeah, it's a game definitely where I feel like I'm level 20 in it, and I still haven't finished it. And it's just because it's a game I like to soak in.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm playing it super slow, where it's just fun. I feel like because the quests are interesting enough, it's like I want to go explore and find every quest that I can and do as much as I can and interact with all these people and bounce around all of the companions.
I think I started with the combat because it surprised me and because it, along with pretty much everything in this game, has an ease to it. This game is just easy to get into.
Why do you think that is?
I don't fully know yet because I'm not too far.
Yeah.
But for me, it's easy to get overwhelmed with how many things you need to pick up, how many things you need to craft, how many people you need to talk to. A lot of these games can be just so overwhelming. And this, for now, feels like if I take the time to do something, I'm going to be rewarded for it. But if I skip something, I'm not necessarily going to be penalized for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just seems really easy to kind of give and take and pass up certain quests.
Yeah.
I'm not having that 100% completionist attitude that I always have.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah. Like, I want to do all these side quests, but at the same time, I met a guy and he says, he rubbed me the wrong way initially, and he said, yo, go kill these robots.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's great. It's a great quest.
Well, in my mind, humans are way more sketch than robots. Sorry, humans are sketch as hell. So I just didn't do it, And I kind of looked for the robot, couldn't find him. But I was like, dude, I'm not killing this robot that I know nothing about.
Yeah.
There's just a level of nuance to all these quests, man. The way I solved the first mainline quest was bizarre. You just start kind of piecing it together and kind of reacting in the moment. Like,
well,
it's really well written and well done, dude. Holy shit.
It's cool because I think there are and I feel like the trend has gotten better, especially with some recent beloved RPGs. But it's always annoying in an RPG where it's like, okay, I have options, but I can do everything. And that's not how the Outer Worlds plays out, where there are a lot of times in the Outer Worlds where I'm like, okay, I really want to build my character this way, and then I'll be blocked off from an option in a quest that seems really cool, and I would love to see how that plays out. And it's like, oh man, I wish I had that, or it'll influence the companions that I bring along for their bonuses. And I love everything coming back to my character. And I feel like that character is multifaceted, where it's like, it's not just the stats. It's like, I want these stats so my character will play this way. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That will be this kind of person.
Yeah, you just have so much freedom. And I know that's such a buzzword in the game industry, but like, this game more than a lot, I just feel like I'm in total control. It's always rewarding me, and it's never penalizing me.
Sure.
And that's really awesome to have just, I feel like when I play Fallout or The Witcher, it's just like, all right, let me finish this. I'm going to need all this. Okay, finish. I just get into that checklist mentality. And this, I'm just so swept up in the story that's going on.
Yeah.
I'm just going, I'm letting the game kind of take me where the winds push me. To quote a famous character, I'm a leaf on the wind.
I don't think you've gotten there yet, but a moment where I was really impressed with the Outer Worlds is there's a quest that you do for somebody, and there's no combat. It's just somebody trying to figure out her emotions.
Nice.
And it's just you getting to learn this character better, and it's really just all dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's captivating.
Awesome.
The
conversations are amazing.
Yeah.
Can I kick people out of my party?
Yeah, you can.
Like, someone's on my ship, what if I want them gone?
You can do that. So when you go and you talk to them,
perfect.
You're like, I think we should part ways.
Perfect.
But they're gone, gone.
Forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can
cool.
You can get a bunch of people. And
can you have
switch 'em out.
unlimited?
There's like,
is there a limit?
There's a certain amount of characters.
There's a certain number of companions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And
But yeah, if you really don't like one, you can just
like
buy.
pay attention to make sure. I mean, it's not that hard, but make sure you get them all.
Yeah,
I
think
just
I think
like assembling the whole crew.
Totally.
Even
I think
if I
it's
don't use everybody.
pretty easy to get them all.
Yeah, it's not hard. He's right about that. What was I going to say? Oh, what's really fun, especially so a big reason why you're going to want to get all the companions is it's fun coming back to the ship, and your ship AI will be like, "Hey, they're getting into it."
Yeah,
and
they're
so
already
you'll just
doing
like, you'll be like, "Oh, I want to see what's happening." You'll go up, and then there'll be conversations between them, and
Got it.
yeah,
The ship
they
AI
take
is
different
funny.
tones.
They all have their
Yeah,
own
yeah.
like quest line too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Really good comedy.
Yeah, really
good
like,
drama.
legitimately funny game.
Legitimately
Yeah.
funny, legitimately emotional, legitimately serious. Like,
Yeah,
there's a lot going on with this game,
yeah.
and it's so accessible. This
It is.
I'm blown away. I'm
It's
blown away.
nice
I love
that
this
you
game.
can switch difficulty on the fly as well, like anytime you want.
Really appreciate that there's a hardcore mode with permadeath.
Right, so that's the
Amazing.
only mode. If you do that, you have to do that from the beginning.
Yeah.
there's a tier of
Love
difficulty,
options.
But even if you don't do that, you can switch between like easy, normal, and hard
Yeah.
on the fly, which is great.
Yeah, I really appreciate that
So.
kind of stuff, dude.
Really good. I love the way the environments look.
Yep.
I love any space game where you can get to an environment and you're just like, oh wow, the colors.
I'm playing on PC. I only have a 1080p monitor. My settings aren't very high somehow, though, but I'm only playing 1080.
Good job,
So
Huber.
it looks
Nice job, Huber.
okay. It looks
okay?
all right.
Okay. I'm play. So I play on Xbox 4K,
Got it.
and it looks good.
1440p. PC.
Yeah.
Huber, I was just, you know what, Huber? I just realized like, I feel like that was like a really. I didn't mean for it to come across.
It didn't
this
at all.
way,
No, you were just saying
but
what
I
you
feel
played
like
it
that
on.
was like a douchebaggy. Like,
No,
oh,
no.
I played it in 4K.
I love it, dude.
Not at all.
This
was
is
not-
Play what you play. Tell us.
was
Let us
not
know what
me
you
like
like.
early 2000s PC gamer stuff.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
it.
Yeah.
Dude. PC gamer, by the way.
I think there's still a little too much to pick up.
4K.
It gets really annoying.
there is
Like, don't make me frigging check every corpse, every yellow ammo box. Like,
Well, it gets frustrating.
I don't want to pick up trash in these games, dude. I just don't want to pick up trash. Solve the problem. Solve the problem, game developers.
It's weird because
Please.
Outer Worlds gets into this really frustrating position where, oh man, I'm gonna make a comparison, where like there is so much trash, and then you got to worry about encumbrance. And yes,
Yeah.
there are like feats that you can get that increase your burden or whatever, but it's like a lot of the times when you're looking, you're like, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. Oh, I do need this. And so like when you reach that thing where you're like, oh, I need this, and I found it in kind of this weird spot.
Yeah.
Then you're like, well, I gotta
I guess
check
I gotta
everything.
check everything.
Yes. So
It's so annoying. That will change, I
play-
feel like, in the decades of game
play-
developing.
I play Path of Exile with a loot filter.
You told me about this.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
that's just what I want for Outer Worlds. I
Yeah.
just want like a loot filter that's just like, hey, this is good.
Yeah.
And it just like lights it up, and I just go there and I can ignore
Yep.
everything else. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
But I'm with
Yes.
you. It's a problem in
There's
Outer
just
Worlds.
a little too
it
much.
feels archaic in a way.
Yeah.
Where it's like there has to be a better way.
And it's like, I guess everything is meaningful when you pick it up because I can sell it or get the mats.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I guess. But,
But
oh
it's-
my
it's
god,
not like a
it's
fun, meaningful.
It's
It's like
exhausting,
yeah.
and it just takes you out of the game.
Yeah.
It takes me out of the task at hand when I'm just like rummaging through junk.
Yeah. Some stuff in the game feels kind of old. Like when you talk to people, the
Yeah.
the pain
Yeah,
in the
the
face
like
thing.
the like Oblivion style.
Like even like when I was playing Witcher in like 2015, I wasn't
Totally.
doing that.
Totally.
right. Yeah. So
Totally.
But
like
I mean, I
you-
guess it's like a minor nitpick, but it's just
Yeah.
something I noticed.
totally.
As we go into next gen.
Yeah.
you think about The Witcher 3, right? And you get into those conversations, and it's nice because you're getting changing camera angles. You're getting people moving around. They're a little bit more animated. It is frustrating in Outer Worlds where it's like, zoop, hello, we're going to talk now. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
But again, just lastly, stating on the accessibility of the story,
Yeah.
of the combat,
Yeah.
of all the mods and stuff, and the armor, just super intuitive, easy to
Yeah.
swap in, swap out. You know what is your best stuff, just
Yep,
all the
yep.
perks you get every 2 levels is really addicting.
Yeah.
So just everything about this game, I'm in love with.
It
Yeah.
like, yeah, man. Obsidian is extremely talented.
Yeah, and it's awesome knowing that it's not 100 hours long.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
so
It is nice.
encouraging.
But I think what's
to
really
play more.
really cool about it is I feel like your playtime is partially dictated by how you choose to play it. And you talked about that accessibility, and I feel like it does cater really well to different types of players, like people who just want to get on with it or want to explore everything. Yeah.
Like
I
it's
dig it.
like the way I handled the first planet seems like it can go drastically different, which is awesome. Like if you play that game like a nutcase, that seems pretty fun. But I can't do it. I always say every time I go into a new game like this, I'm like, yo, this is the day. This is the time.
Yeah.
You know, I have this reputation for loving shotguns and battle axes, like I'm charging in like Galahad. But at the end of the day, a companion comes up and taps me on the shoulder and says, maybe you shouldn't do that. You know, I'm going to appeal to your humanity. And I'm like, all right, bonds.
Well, I
bonds,
think the thing
for
that's hard in Outer Worlds is like the options to be a dick are like really dickish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
So it's
you
like,
are bad.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, this isn't like kind of rough. This is like evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's weird because I feel like for a long time now, for a long while, I've been really goody-goody in RPGs, but I always think back to like one of my favorite playthroughs is playing Mass Effect as a total dick. Like I really loved that.
Yeah, punching people out.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't do that more often.
The Witcher 3 for me is the best example of all time of neutral, both.
Yeah.
Sometimes having a heart and freeing someone, and then sometimes being a brutal person and
get
killing
paid.
someone. Like,
Greater evil,
Yeah.
lesser evil,
like
it's all the same.
yeah. The ebbs and flows of it are so cool. I hope I get ebbs and flows in Outer Worlds. I hope so. It seems very possible. Great game. Goaty game. Goaty material.
It's time for the. What happened there was like I noticed that I was just making noise on the chair, and I was amused by it, and so I
Nice.
kept doing
Continue
it.
on, yes.
Yeah, please enjoy that,
I can relate.
listener. Oh man, yeah. I think when I do a frame trap with you guys, it's different than when I do a frame trap with anybody else
100%.
because it's just the loosest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just
It's
with
just
the boys.
I am
loose right now.
It's just like it's way different than when I do it with other people, and so I get a little,
Pretty rich with Bloodworth when you're with us, dude.
Oh, they're sweating right now.
Ugh. Yeah, so you get chair noises when it's with the boys. Fun fact, the forbidden word this time was actually not said on this podcast.
Whoa.
Is this possible?
Yeah, they're breaking the rules. When we did this, when this forbidden word was said, it was said in the stream beforehand. It was said in the Kingdom Hearts 3 stream.
Hard lock on.
No. That would be good, though. It was said, it was orbs.
Orbs.
Forbidden word. Demons hate certain types of orbs.
When was the first time orbs was said?
Yeah, I want to know the origin of orbs in the human history.
So funny.
This is going to be another collaborative Caught in a Frame Trap. You two will have to work together, as you are good at doing. I have a list of... So Steam put out like their best-selling games, and it was weird because they just like placed them in categories. They were like, these are like the platinum best-selling games, and then here are like the gold. It was weird. I have a list.
So is the worst platinum better than the best gold?
I believe so. Yes, that was the
Okay.
implication.
Okay.
Hopefully that is correct.
Okay.
But anyway, they did this thing where they had the best-selling games, and I took the platinum category.
Okay.
There are 12 games in the platinum category. I want to see if you can name
GTA 5.
6 of them.
GTA 5.
GTA 5 is one of them.
Red Dead 2.
Oh,
Red
wait,
Dead 2.
wait.
Red
Okay,
Dead 2.
hold on.
Rockstar Games.
Hold on. To put you in the right headspace, because it wouldn't be fair otherwise, I said best-selling. This is actually top gross revenue.
Rockstar Games. Rockstar Games.
Hold on.
Dota 2.
So free-to-play games are part of it.
Okay.
Because it's terms of gross revenue.
Fortnite not on Steam.
So I want you to think of these games. I want to see if you can name 6 of them. You got GTA 5.
And Red Dead 2.
No.
Oh.
Dota 2.
Dota 2.
Nice. Dota 2.
Artifact. Just kidding.
Ooh.
Gotcha,
Uncalled for.
I thought
Gotcha,
Artifact
Val.
was cool.
Yeah, it was. Let's see. PUBG.
PUBG, you're doing well.
Brad, that was
Yes.
a really good one, dude. Wow, good pick.
What else is on Steam that people
Can we
love?
get 3 more? There's some weird ones on here, or ones that I think might be difficult to guess.
Really interesting.
Is League of Legends on Steam?
No.
It's got its own launcher, right? Yeah.
Who?
Just Dota.
Some sort of RTS, I'm thinking.
Total War.
Yes.
Yeah.
Total. Which one?
That was co-op.
Which one?
What's the newest
Frick,
one?
dude.
Rome? 5? I don't know.
I'll give it to you. Total War: Three Kingdoms.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't have gotten that one. Total
Well
War.
done. That was one I was not expecting you guys to get.
So PC.
We got there, yeah.
So I feel like every time
That's a
I
PC joint.
see Total War on Steam, also, there's like 45 DLCs that
Yeah.
are priced from like $3 to $5.
Mongolian pack.
Yeah.
Goth pack.
Yeah.
How many more do we have to do?
You have to do 2 more
Okay.
to break out of the frame
Dude,
trap.
What am I?
It's hard because you think of like the Overwatches and the League of Legends,
think
and
of
they're not.
popular free-to-play games.
Warframe.
Yes.
Oh, Warframe.
Warframe
They
is
don't
one
have
of
their
them.
own launcher? Oh, I thought they would. Nice, good pull.
Very good.
Destiny? Is Destiny on Steam?
Destiny 2.
Yeah.
You
There
did
it
it. You
is,
did it.
dude.
Yeah, we got it.
Nice.
All right. So
Eververse.
we'll do the 6 that you didn't get. Rainbow
Okay.
Six Siege.
Oh, nice.
Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Feeling good about that.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike Go.
Nice. Still, how did we not say
Yeah,
Counter-Strike?
frick,
Go?
that was the one.
Yeah, that
can't
was
believe
one that I
that
thought
was
you would
the
end
one.
out
I
on.
forget about that gambling stuff.
Skins.
Oh my god, yeah, the skins.
Civilization 6.
Oh, look at you, sis.
Monster Hunter World.
Nice. Wow.
And I think this is
Good
going to be
blind
the
thoughts.
maybe
That's a
the
feel
biggest
good.
surprise. Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh. Whoa. Yeah, I guess they don't have their own launcher, do they? Bethesda, no, they do.
They do. They
But,
have, they have
okay,
their
so
own
it's not
launcher.
locked in
Yeah,
on
they
it,
have-
though.
Yeah.
I always just like think of stuff locked to their thing now. Crazy.
You guys will have to break us out of the frame trap. So think of a collaborative way to do that. But before we get there, we have some wonderful people to shout out who are part of our shout out tier on Patreon. Our first shout out is, Huber, by the way, before we get into the shout out tier, the last episode that you were on, you said shout out so loudly that I had to like specifically edit that part and turn it down. So you could totally say shout out, but
Keep it
it
cool.
was really, really loud.
Okay.
All right.
Shout out.
Our first shout out is to Elthanas.
Elthanas.
Shout
Shout
out.
out.
Our shout out is to Greg, TheDarkKnight Kettering.
Shout out.
Shout
dude.
out.
Classic Greg.
We've got Caleb Togi Crawford.
Nice.
Shout
out.
out.
Shout out, Caleb.
Will Schmuck.
Will Schmuck, dude.
Shout
Shout
out.
out. What up, dude?
And FantasyCritic.Games.
Shout
Shout out,
out.
Fancy Critic.
How are we getting out of this frame trap?
Oh, shoot.
How we getting out,
dude.
Brad?
I don't know. How we getting
Throw
out?
some orbs at the screen, dude. Throw some orbs. We're throwing orbs. Right back at them.
Magic orbs?
Kill them with their own weapon.
Dude, what if you killed the demons?
Who throws orbs at you?
Well, we're in this frame trap because of the orbs.
Oh.
You use the
Because of
orbs
We're
the
as
orbs,
turning it
that's
against
right.
them.
Take
you
that.
use the orbs as
You dumb
weapons.
demon.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. I like that. I like using the demons' own
On
weapons
tools,
against
yeah.
them. Huber. Brad.
Mm.
We're going to talk about a game that I did not necessarily think we would ever talk about on Frame Trap again. And that is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah, man.
What if I told you Battlefront 2 is really good now?
I'd believe you.
It's really
It's
good.
really fun.
So,
Games live long nowadays.
Yeah.
they do, yeah.
Ew.
Battlefront 2, I started my re-experience with Battlefront 2 playing through the campaign, and I played through the DLC campaign that they released
I never
for free.
played that. Was that good?
So, the DLC campaign, I think, is a little better than the main campaign, and I actually think the story of both is solid, and I really like the direction they go with it. Where the campaign lets you down is just it's broken. Like repeatedly enemies would like try to get behind cover and they'd like would alternate between standing and crouching and they would just be completely stupid. So the AI is a disappointment. There are good things in the campaign. I think there are some high story moments in it that I like, that I thought like, I really appreciate where you're going. Then there are other decisions that aren't good. It's like, oh, you're having me play Luke Skywalker. Cool.
Why are we always killing bugs?
Why are we killing bugs?
Every single time we get a lightsaber in a Star Wars game, we're killing bugs.
Why am I killing? It just felt. And then like, I appreciate you having a Lando chapter, and I appreciate that Billy D. Williams is voicing it, but like, this feels so tacked on. It just felt like we're just doing this mission because.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some problems with the campaign. I do think the multiplayer is really fun, and I think there's so much in this game now that there are so many different modes and ways that you can play that are awesome, and I'm having a great time. Also, they have this celebration edition where you just get not everything, but you get most of the stuff. So you just don't have to worry about it. Like you still progress, you still have progression. So it's like, oh, if I'm playing an assault, like I'll unlock assault cards that I can level up. But like cosmetics and emotes, you just get it, and so that's nice. And it's just really fun. What has been your impression of it, Brad?
Yeah, I played it when it first came out, like back in the whole, controversial era of it. And I was like, okay, whatever. Movies coming out. I'm like, all right, I'm watching all. I'm like, it's time to check this game out. I've heard good things about it, man. Hopped in. Just a good time, man.
It was a good time.
Like, there's a lot of new, like, it felt like a lot of new maps I'd never played before.
Yep,
oh man, I've never seen like Solace from like episode 8 and everything like that. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, you do crate, and you're on the planet with the salt. And
that's what it's called, crate.
Yes,
that's what it's called, crate.
And you get on like the little like ski speeders, and you're like gliding through, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, but I was the Empire in that map, so I was running like on this like open field kind of thing, and there's like little caves you jump down into. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Crate is a really, really, really fun map because if you're playing as the Resistance, you start in like this trench. And it's really dangerous because there are like pockets and trenches that you need to go into, but you have to go out in the open to do it. And you're trying to destroy these walkers. And so you just have these moments where you're like, am I going to go for it? And you try to make it. And then, of course, you get sniped and you're sad. But it's very tense and fun.
Nice.
I really like so a lot of the game is like you get points from killing enemies or doing objectives, and you could spend these points to unlock like additional characters and like heroes you could play as like Vader and all that. Yeah. But there's like lower tier guys like
specialists.
So like some of the droids, I was like, you're playing as like the destroyers, the rolly guys. Yes. Like, oh, this is really cool.
Yes.
Oh, I got this guy with a jetpack or something like that. It's just like cool little things that change up the gameplay. But it's like, because you can't always be a hero,
right?
Because sometimes someone else.
Well, heroes are the most expensive, and you can only have one of each in play.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I'll do this guy because
must play that hero mode.
Yeah,
What's that?
The hero mode. Yeah,
right.
The hero mode's really. We had a lot of fun playing that. Yeah.
So they've added new specialists as well, and I haven't played as all of them yet, but the ones I have played have been extremely powerful and really, really fun. One of them is the Sith Trooper. Yeah. And this thing is just disgusting. Yeah. Like, his gun is amazing. You can charge it up. He's got this grenade that if it hits you, you won't regenerate health, I think. And then, like, you could scan for enemies, and you can... Your third ability is he just, like, raises his fists, and he's like, let's go! And you
AoE buff thing.
Sick.
You sprint a lot faster, and then if you kill enemies, your health regeneration starts immediately. The gunner, you would love the gunner. Just this smiling alien that has this giant Gatling gun.
Nice.
And it like beastly, like just mowing people down. You melt through people really, really fast.
I had a flamethrower guy.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
It was sick.
But
burning rebel scum, dude. It was sick.
This game has been out for a while, and so like you'll go into multiplayer and you're like, like people are really good, or they have like maxed out, like they have all the attachments or like completely upgraded cards. What I've been having a ton of fun in is the co-op mode, where like I've just been going in with random people, and it still, even though you're just playing against AI, it still manages to be really intense because they've tuned the AI in such a way where they're not pushovers. Like if you're not working together, there's a really good chance that you will lose, but you still get the benefits of like, oh, I'm leveling up, like I'm upgrading my cards.
friendly way to progress.
Right. In multiplayer, it may be like less likely for you to get a hero, but in co-op, because you're dealing with so many fewer people, it's a lot easier. So it's like, oh, if I want to level up Rey or Luke or Kylo or whatever, you can do that, and then that progression will transfer over into multiplayer. It's really good.
Love Darth Maul.
Yeah, a lot of the heroes are really fun to play as
Love
too.
Really
Darth
fun to
Maul,
play. And
dude.
like, even though you have so many like Jedi and Sith, extremely distinct in terms of how they play.
Yeah.
Anakin is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He is ridiculous.
Yeah. Grievous is really cool.
Grievous is super fun, dude.
Yeah.
He's got this spider crawl, and then
could do
Revenge of the
that.
Sith.
Does he cough? Does he cough? Does he
I
cough?
think so.
Probably. I don't remember,
So
actually. It's a
awesome.
good question.
Sick.
Yoda's
Does he
really
cough?
fun.
Loved him during my rewatch. You know, I was always offended with the outcome of Grievous because it feels so short-lived. But now as I'm older, I respect guest
dude, if you watch Clone
appearances
Wars, it ain't
more.
short-lived, dude.
For sure.
Finn, really fun.
Oh, I haven't played as Finn yet.
Finn is really fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't played as like Rey yet either or anything like that.
Rey is interesting. Rey is very different than a lot of the other Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you have to play her differently.
Can you be
like Rey.
Qui-Gon?
No Qui-Gon.
No Qui-gon.
No Qui-Gon.
I think they're adding
Obi-Wan?
more though. I think
Yeah.
they're adding like BB-8.
BB-8 is coming this
Yeah.
month, January.
Yeah.
BB-8. And then
That's
he's BB-9E on the First Order side.
So Ben, let me tell you what it goes like with me with heroes.
'Kay.
If I'm on the dark side, I'm like, oh Kylo.
Yeah.
If he's taking, I'm like, okay, Vader. And if he's taking, I'm like, okay, Palpatine.
Dude, what about Darth Maul, man?
Okay,
I like
so
Darth Maul,
what
but
the hell?
Darth Maul is very fun.
So
Darth Maul's
fun.
very
Tell me
fun.
to pick Darth Maul over Vader, dude. When I can force choke people.
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
Kylo is really good too. I
Yeah,
like a lot of his
and,
abilities. He
like,
can just like freeze people.
If I'm on the light side, I'm like, Luke.
I've been really partial to
Obi-Wan.
Rey. I've been.
Yeah, I should
doing
try
Can
Rey.
you be
sure.
Alec Guinness? Or is it Ewan McGregor?
I don't think there's an. I don't think there's an Alec Guinness.
There's,
skin.
like,
There's like a Clone War
Wars, yeah.
Obi-Wan, which is cool.
Yeah, I don't think you can be
Dude.
old,
Yeah.
man.
Alec Guinness skin, and I will
That'd be
pay
cool.
all the
Yeah,
money.
that'd be cool.
I'll
Yeah.
pay it all. Pay it all.
I really like Battlefront 2. I think it kind of falls into a position that probably Fortnite falls into you, Huber.
Boot it up.
Where,
Quick couple.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you
quick
just
Boot it up.
you can just play it for like 20 minutes.
Yep.
And be like, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm good, and then walk away.
Yeah.
I love that about it.
Love it.
Play map, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Some good tank action, dude. I was in a tank and it gave me like Battlefield flashbacks.
I've been meaning to do that with what you guys did with Battlefield 5
Yeah.
because they added
Yeah, a lot.
the Pacific
Yeah.
campaign and new factions and so much. They've been working so hard on that game.
I was thinking about it recently, Huber. We streamed that BR mode with Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was just because of the stream or what it was, but I had a really good time with that.
So fun.
And I'm like, I should revisit that. I had
Yeah.
a good time.
I really want to dive
we
back in.
played a decent amount when it came out.
Definitely. We put a good
Yeah,
50,
you and me.
like after the review, we put in like
Yeah, we
50
put in-
plus.
We put in a good amount
Yeah.
of time. I don't know about
But
50 plus.
I put 50. I
Okay.
played a lot. I played a lot of Battlefield 5 when it came out.
Yeah, it's weird.
But it's like, you know, you're saying here, time goes by and the game
Yeah.
gets even better. It's like,
Mhm.
dude, I bet Battlefield 5 now is so much better than it was.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's awesome, dude. I want to play Battlefront now. Shit.
Dude,
It's really
like,
fun.
I
can't-
would love to
yeah.
play with you guys.
I haven't
It's
seen
because-
I haven't
play
seen
with it.
episode 9 yet.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So I can't dive in.
That has to be a frustrating thing because, like,
It's been nice because somehow I've dodged all public opinion on it.
really,
Which is really
that's what I was
nice.
going to say. Because
It's
the public
still-
opinion has been a tidal wave.
Yeah, there's still a fog over it because I've been media blackout for like 3 weeks.
That's good.
I
Yeah,
actually-
so
I
I know
don't-
nothing.
I probably won't be able to, but I would love to see it again in theaters and solidify that opinion.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So it's the second watch is so important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was going to actually give my opinion, but I don't
Don't-
want to
don't-
take you.
don't-
want to
Good.
take you.
Yeah, moving
Don't-
on. Moving on.
Moving on to Arise, a Simple Story.
Arise a Simple Story. Fun stuff. Arise a Simple Story. So this is
What
the
is Arise a
Santa
Simple
Claus game.
Oh,
Santa Claus game.
right.
You're Santa
Right.
Claus?
no.
No.
When they showed the game,
Yeah, we were just joking.
around that you're like old Santa Claus. This is a short little game, a simple story, if you will. Puzzle platformer.
Oh, puzzle.
You can beat
Your
this.
favorite.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Pretty
Brad. Pretty light puzzles here.
Cool.
Just a really beautiful looking game. Lot of good imagery in this. A lot of beautiful environments. The story is simple. And I related to it, but at the same time, I was kind of annoyed because there's optional collectibles, and when you collect them, it gives you like a picture, you know, and it's once you cycle through all these, it's the story basically in picture book form. It's a picture of the past. You're kind of going through, reliving, remembering, you know, your life. So it's like you miss a bunch of the collectibles and you're missing out on some of the story here, you know? And I thought that was kind of counterintuitive. I don't know. That was just my take on that.
I don't have a problem with like items that help you with story or give you more, but I feel like if you felt like you're missing out on stuff too much because of it, that could be an issue.
I personally felt like I was missing out on some, but I got the gist of it, you know? I got like half of the collectibles, maybe a little more, you know? But yeah, really easy breezy game. Couple puzzles are really tricky, but nothing too hard to stop your progress, full stop for too long. Yeah, there's really not a lot to say about it. I mean, you look at a trailer and you kind of know what you're getting into, I'd say.
I see.
So if you're into smaller indie platformers,
right,
more puzzly than platforming for me. The main mechanic is kind of slowing and messing with time, kind of rewinding it.
Braid.
Yeah, that kind of vibe.
It's tough, Huber, because watching the trailer for Arise, I thought I was like, oh, this looks neat. It's just, and maybe this is like old manish of me, but I remember kind of the launch of Xbox Live Arcade and feeling this like, man, and obviously indie games existed before this, but I remembered like that was really my awareness of it and kind of the rise of indie games with things like Braid being a huge part of that, or things like Super Meat Boy, and really cherishing that because it was a relatively small pool, or at least it felt that way. Now, I feel like there's a lot we can look at, and it's like, oh, that would be nice if I can get to it, great, but there's just so many that come out that look great, and it's weird because it's hard to hold on to them, at least in my mind. Like, even things that I love, like, I adored Guacamelee 1, haven't played Guacamelee 2 yet, not because I don't want to, it's just... I feel like I can open up Steam, or now like with Games Pass or whatever, there's so many indie games that I need to catch up on that it's hard making time for them.
100%.
Where do you think Arise kind of fits into place?
Squarely in the middle.
In the middle.
This is average is kind of harsh. I'd say it is a teensy bit above average. It is a good game.
Okay.
I am definitely glad I played it. It doesn't overstay its welcome. You can beat this in a day or two.
Very important.
Very important. This is a weekend game. The story was good. It wasn't great. And I think if the story had hit me harder, then this would definitely be a big recommendation. As of now, I wouldn't say to put this above other games in your queue. But I am glad I played it. And I'm glad it exists. It's one of those situations where playing through it wasn't necessarily the most fun and entertaining, but when it was over and the credits roll, it's like, cool. You know, I'm happy. I'm feeling good. I'm glad that this exists. I'm glad that there are games like this.
You're reminding me of Unraveled.
It's probably a very similar situation. I only dabbled with the first one.
Yeah, so I reviewed the first Unraveled, and I remember liking so much about it. Obviously, it has a great presentation, and there was some inventiveness with the levels, but I remember walking away being like, that was good, but I wanted more. I wanted more emotionally. It didn't quite reach the emotional highs that I think it was going for.
Yes.
And it just... It never like sang. There was never, and it's weird. And I know this is kind of the scapegoat for all of this, but when I think about a game like Journey, like there are moments that you can pull out of it, and it's like, this is so strong. And I feel like something like Unraveled, it all kind of blends together, and it was like, oh, it was all good, but there were no moments where I'm like, I have to tell people that I experienced
totally,
this.
Ben.
That is kind of where it fell for me.
There's like one moment in this game where you're like, whoa, this is the moment.
Santa,
this is an awesome moment, and that's really it. And then everything else kind of just blends together. The puzzles are clever, you know, again, messing with time and messing with lighting is really cool. When lightning strikes, there's some stuff like the game definitely isn't one note the whole way through. You get some stuff going on, some changes throughout that I don't want to spoil, but cool little game, but nothing to put it above other things that you might want to play. Which sounds harsh, but
that's how you feel.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
That's how you feel. We're going to talk about at least one more game.
Cool.
And it's one that I'm pretty excited about. We don't have to spend too much time on this. But like I said, I've been in a Star Wars craze for it won't stop. I thought it would have stopped by now. It's not stopping.
Wow.
So I played through all of Jedi Outcast. I played through all of Jedi Outcast on Switch, and there's actually an Easy Allies podcast.
I have one question.
Hold on.
No.
Okay.
Does Kyle Katarn hold up?
I think Kyle Katarn is definitively my favorite Star Wars character.
Whoa. Okay.
He is so good. Okay. He's basically just like Smuggler Jedi, but his delivery is so good. I love Kyle Katarn. Okay. So this is going to play into this storytelling.
Perfect.
Anyway,
Perfect.
On the Easy Allies podcast, when I was first poking at Jedi Outcast, I was like, some of this, like the way they structure encounters and the shooting it just takes time. Mm-hmm. Once I kind of got over it, and especially, once you get into the swing of things, you get the lightsaber and your force powers expand. Really, really good.
Cloud City is in Outcast?
Yes, Bespin is in Outcast.
Dude, when you walk in that room and that Sith ignites that lightsaber, talking about moments, man.
They do that a lot.
They do it a lot.
Do that a lot.
I just remember the Cloud City one,
for
sure.
So I had played Jedi Outcast, really loved it, especially the multiplayer growing up. Mm-hmm. That was a big deal for me as a kid. And I always remember liking Jedi Academy and appreciating that you could get dual lightsabers and double blade and all that stuff, and it was cool. But I remember being really annoyed. I was like, I don't really like Rosh, this kind of apprentice that you're going with. And I was bummed that you weren't playing as Kyle because I liked Kyle so much. And I felt like he was just such a cool, distinct character. But I've been playing through Jedi Academy. I'm actually on the final set of levels now. And man, that Xbox One backwards compatibility, it looking nice and sharp.
Sick.
I have and I streamed it as well, but I have a totally new appreciation for Jedi Academy, and it's much, much, much better than I remember it being. This game is so crazy ambitious. I love everything about it. The way that they break it down. You go in, you kind of do the prologue. In Jedi Outcast, kind of just as you progress, they're just you have a new force power now. And that's neat. I much prefer the way that they handle it in Academy.
Trials, right?
No, kind of. When you do missions, so the way that it's split up is you'll get a batch of missions, and you can do them in whatever order you want. Every time you do a mission, you get a point, and you can put it into either light side or dark side powers. But then there's also tiers of missions. So, once you get to the second tier of missions, all of your core powers pump up. Your jump gets better, your speed gets better. So that happens automatically as you get better as a Jedi. But you also have control over, which light side powers you get and dark side powers. So if you want Force Lightning right away, you can go and grab it. If you want Grip right away, you can grab it. If you want Heal right away, you can grab it. And you don't have to do all the missions to progress, but if you do another mission, you get another point, so you can have more fun with the Force.
Got to do them all.
So it's a great incentive to do everything. Mm-hmm. And what's really neat about the small mission structure in Jedi Academy is they can get crazy with them. You'll have a mission where it's I have to run away from a Rancor the whole time. Or there's one where it's I have to get on this speeder bike and go way too fast. A deal has gone bad. Let me get on the speeder and blast off. They just get really inventive with the levels, and the way that you interact with Kyle, him being your master, is really, really cool. I don't have a ton to say about it, but just a really impressive game, and I love that. I love that, I know people complain about remasters and all this stuff, but I think it's great where it's like, oh, I can just pop in my disc and revisit this and have a whole new appreciation for this game. It's not that I didn't like it at the time, but I feel like I have a much more comprehensive view of it now.
Totally.
That's really, really good. And they just make some smart changes with some of the enemies and how to counter certain really strong powers. Really holds up. Like, if you are feeling Star Wars because of Rise of Skywalker or whatever, Jedi Academy is definitely one that I would put up there for things to revisit. There's so many Star Wars games I could talk about.
Do you ever play Dark Forces before?
Yeah. So,
dude, the live action Kyle Katarn, I could never beat it. I had to use codes.
Yeah. So
dude.
Dark Forces, I was really, really young when I encountered it.
Yeah.
I was like elementary school age, I think. We actually got like a Gateway family computer.
Sick.
And it came with a disc.
I
It came
think
with a
mine.
Lucas
I probably
disc.
got the same thing, Ben.
Yeah. And so what it was, this disc was like a holy grail for me. I loved both of these games as a kid. Dark Forces was too hard for me, but I enjoyed playing it. It was Dark Forces and Full Throttle on one disc.
Dude.
It was like a silver disc. Yeah. Dark Forces is actually one I'd like to go back to now.
I played it.
I think it's Dark
I
Forces
played
2
it pretty recently.
Oh, Dark
with Kyle Katarn?
The
yeah,
first one.
well, no,
Two-
they all
okay.
have, they all have
Even
You're
one?
playing, yes.
Okay, I don't
played
think
one.
I ever even played one. I
Yeah.
definitely played a lot of
one-
Dark
one
Forces 2.
One is like Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I played
Doom,
Dark Forces
but not as
2.
good.
So Dark Forces
So
2,
much.
I don't.
Kind of has like a System Shock vibe.
Yeah, I've like messed around with. It's Jedi Knight, so it's Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, and then it's like Mysteries of the Sith. I've messed around a little bit, but I don't have that much experience. I'd love to go check them out. So
Kyle Katarn live action.
Kyle Katarn live action, yeah, man. Kyle Katarn.
Kyle Katarn.
I gotta do it just for Kyle Katarn.
Kyle
Kyle Katarn I've also been dabbling a little bit with, just a shout out to Dash Rendar.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Inbar. Dash Rendar is like
Shout out Dash.
such a 90s character in the best way.
Yes.
Yeah, Dash Rendar. Shout out to Dash Rendar.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
A little more intense Han Solo.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are coming back, I think what needs to come back right now is HOTTAKE!
Oh.
And my HOTTAKE is all about comebacks. It's actually... I know that this is something that I've kind of ruminated on before and we've talked about before, but it's fascinating to me, and my time with Battlefront 2 has kind of brought it back into my mind again. Battlefront 2 is like having this resurgence. Like, I'm seeing articles of people being like, oh, hey, check out Battlefront 2 now, it's great. And obviously we're talking about it on this podcast in a positive way. And when we initially talked about it on this podcast, it was not kind at all. IGN re-reviewed it and gave it an 8.8.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They re-reviewed it?
Yeah,
Whoa.
like very, very recently. And it seems like nothing is dead. Like, Battlefront 2 had like the most downvoted comment on Reddit. It was just hated. It was like stigmatized.
Because it was pay to win.
Right.
Because it was pay to win when it came out. Now it's not.
But you think about all these things that have had this sort of comeback thing. No Man's Sky, Warframe had a big comeback from its initial launch.
Rainbow
Final Fantasy
Six.
14, yeah. All of these things. It seems like nothing is dead, and the way that people are handling these issues is much different than it would be in the past. Like, rather than just make Battlefront free and pretend like this never happened, they just stick with it, keep updating it, keep adding things, changing it until eventually people come around to it, and it's easy to get into, and there's so much for them to do. Do you think that... What do you think about this thing? Like, do you think a stink can be so damning that you can't recover from it? Like, are we going to have a Fallout 76 comeback
Probably.
at some point?
I mean, if Star Wars can rebound, anything can. Because this
Star Wars in general, or just Battlefront 2?
Battlefront 2. This case right here, Battlefront 2, makes me believe that any game can weather the storm, if you will, because Star Wars is such a debated thing, out of control. Lots of opinions on Star Wars. And this thing came out as the most offensive possible game ever by being pay to win on top of a $60 game. That's two huge things going for it against it, right? And now here we are singing its praises.
It's also interesting because not only did it have its own stigma, but it also had the stigma of EA, which...
EA.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that the positive reception to Jedi Fallen Order helped Battlefront 2? And do you think that that plays into perception?
I think it being a Star Wars year really helps.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Sure.
Episode 9, 2019 movie. So the year of Episode 9, the year of Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it gets people hyped. Like,
Yeah, I think
everyone's playing Star Wars now.
Yeah,
Star Wars
I
mode.
think if Fallen Order was not a good game, that would be like 3 strikes. You're kind of out with Star Wars games. Like, there's like no hope at that point.
Right.
It's like, what's coming next? Like, is EA going to keep doing these Star Wars games that no one likes?
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, they had one that came out that was great. So I don't know.
So let's talk about Anthem.
Anthem.
Here's
Well,
where it gets interesting.
So I think
Okay.
it's interesting to Fallout 76 still because they've made changes, and the changes have been very strange. Like the additional paid subscription thing,
Right.
which has been a disaster in its own.
Battle Royale.
And it's like, are you going to keep making these decisions that just make your game worse and worse and worse in people's eyes?
Right. What's interesting if you look at Battlefront 2 and Fallout 76 side by side, and I'm not the most entrenched in either game, but kind of seeing the path that they're taking. And hindsight is obviously, of course, always 2020. But what you're getting with Fallout 76 is you're getting these news stories where it's like, here's a new way in which the game completely broke, or information got compromised, or people are taking advantage of it. Whereas Battlefront 2, reading up on it, it's like, oh, here's all the things that they added. Here are new ways to play that are really fun that people are really gravitating to. Here are new heroes. Here's the feedback that they listened to and made to improve the game. And so I think what's frustrating about Fallout 76 from the outside is it's like they're adding new monetization methods without feeling
Fixing-
like they've buttoned
Fixing
down
it. It's
their
still
game.
a technical mess.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
people are getting their loot stolen by other players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Right. And that it's hard to want to invest in something like
Yeah,
that.
totally.
Whereas, like, I don't know. I feel like I can sit here and confidently be like, hey, if you pick up this Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition, like, you literally get so much stuff. Like,
Totally.
you get a ton of things, and it's an easy entry point.
Yep.
And that's nice to be able to say. I think it's about removing hesitancy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Is there anything that could make you really excited to jump into Anthem?
That's what I wanted to talk about next. That is a very hard sell, dude. I finished all of the vanilla content of Anthem because I wanted to be able to really talk about that game when it came out and the state of the game. I wanted to finish all the launch content, all the side stuff, stories.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. That game
Yeah.
fundamentally is just not that fun to play. Like, I know
What do you mean? What do you mean fundamentally?
I don't like walking around the small town talking to people.
Yeah, that's fair.
The world itself feels extremely small and restrictive. There's a lot of loading. I mean, just from top to bottom, there's so many problems. The most fun possible you can have in the game is kind of flying and like doing some cool mech moves to people, and even that isn't that great. So I think the foundation for me with Anthem just isn't there. Whereas when Battlefront 2 came out and I reviewed it, I was like, yo, this foundation is solid. It's just that it's
Right.
buckled down by corporate overlords. Like,
Definitely.
so, yeah.
So here's what I want to throw at you: a theory that I have that could maybe be easily proven wrong. But when I think about, like, if Anthem, and I'm not saying, like, I didn't think I would come back to Battlefront 2 the way that I did. So anything is possible. Got to throw that out there. But second of all, I feel like if Anthem came out with this huge update and they're like, here's all the things that we're doing, it's like, wow, this sounds great. I almost feel like I'd be like, but man, I still have so much to do in Destiny 2, and I feel at least partially invested in Destiny 2.
Destiny 2 is really good.
Right. But both games are a commitment.
Yeah.
And so what works with Battlefront 2 is it's not. Where, like I said, you can play it for 20 minutes and be really satisfied. Whereas, like, if I'm going to sit down with Anthem or Destiny, I feel like Destiny has had more of a chance, more time to kind of form an attachment with me than
100%.
Anthem has.
Yeah, if we're going by comparing games to Anthem, like, Anthem's got a hard road ahead.
And I think about other things, and it's like, oh, those are really carving out a unique space. Even though I'm not playing it, I feel like No Man's Sky is carving out a very unique space.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
Huge
Right.
space.
Rainbow Six Siege is like, if I'm going to check, if I want to come back to Rainbow Six Siege, which I often do, it's because it's very unique. Even something like Final Fantasy XIV, it's like, where else am I going to have Final Fantasy MMO? Where else am I going to get a storyline in an MMO like this?
Battlefront, you're getting Star Wars.
Battlefront, you're getting Star Wars. Yeah, you are. You are. And with Anthem, I know that they are doing things that are different in the sense of storytelling and lore and stuff, but I just don't. I worry that maybe that is the thing that is missing, is that kind of unique grab.
Just the world and the characters and the lore and the town and the restrictive environments. Like, there's so many problems with that game that just are not good or fun. Like, I don't know what a revision of Anthem would look like, because I think of No Man's Sky and I think of Sea of Thieves, and to me it feels like they just refined and added to those games.
Well, Sea of Thieves' problem was it didn't have enough.
Yeah, exactly. So Thieves just kept chipping away, adding stuff. Anthem, you can add all the stuff you want. It's just, can you make the loop fun, and can you make piloting and shooting things fun?
Right. But
it's that simple and that hard, you know?
I just get the sense that the way game companies are now approaching development is the way that they're investing is not like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this DLC, and then we're going to move on. It's like, we're in this for a long haul. We need this to exist for X amount of time and to monetize this certain way. And Anthem is certainly one of those games. And this is kind of turned into an Anthem HOTTAKE, but you think about how much time BioWare spent on it, how much was bet on it,
how much money it made,
how much was invested in it. Do you think that rather than maybe taking like a Sea of Thieves approach and just kind of bolstering it up, what they could do is more of a Final Fantasy XIV approach, where it's like,
I feel like
starting
they would
over?
have to, yeah. I feel like they have to just start over.
You think they have to?
I mean, what I feel like what's there isn't interesting enough to keep me going. Like, I remember playing through the game, and I remember the encounters a lot of times not even being that interesting. Like, fighting guys, just kind of like whatever.
Yeah, there's no soul.
Like, traversing the environment. It's like, it's cool flying around, but it's like, this gets old pretty quickly.
There's no heart and soul. It's missing. Yeah, it's that intangible.
I think the town is a big miss. I don't like the town either. I really didn't like walking around talking to people like that.
Not at all.
I don't know, man. Like, Final Fantasy essentially like remade their game, which is like a huge undertaking.
Right.
It sounds wild, but in the case of Anthem, I think a sequel would be the right move.
Maybe.
If you're gonna keep this IP going, don't try to reboot it. Because one, I think it's a little even too early for that, you know?
Yeah.
I honestly think if you just came out with Anthem 2, you know, and you kind of reuse some you know, you do like Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations, you know?
Right.
You do Anthem 2. As crazy as that sounds, everyone would be like, what the hell? But then it's weird because it's like, well, what about the people that have invested in this?
Here's the conflict that I have is I was like, oh man, you know, this playing Battlefront 2 really makes me curious about Battlefront 3. But then I think about how frustrating that has to be from their perspective, where it's like, okay, they're just starting to
get momentum,
return so much favor. It's like they announced Battlefront 3. They're starting over again in a lot of ways. It's like they're not going to have as many heroes.
Not as polished.
They're not going to have as many maps. They may not have as many modes. It's like they may be able to do these things and then add up over time. And it's like, why do that when your message can be, here's what we've got, and we're going to keep adding more stuff?
There's one X factor in this whole conversation.
I actually want to bring in an X factor, so I hope it's
next gen.
Yes, that's exactly what I
was
going
to say. Like, what if like Battlefront 3, like you're actually
next
on the field
gen,
and you could actually run in an X-wing and get in it and fly in something instead of just spawning in or something like that.
So now is the time.
Well, and I think Anthem could really benefit from that message because people were frustrated where it's like, the transitions between this thing and that thing, where it's like, okay, well, with next gen, we can make this a lot more seamless.
Yeah.
We can make this feel a lot more expansive.
Oh my God, I remember that, dude. Like loading out weapons. That took so long. You'd get like an orange drop
Right.
And you'd have to go to town, go into the thing, equip the thing, go out.
Very just cumbersome. It's like, why?
Right.
Shouldn't
So maybe that is the marketing tactic you would employ, where it's like, hey, now we can make the game that we really envisioned, or this is how we want it to function.
It's like,
Something
we're sorry.
Yeah.
Buy our game again.
Yeah, Anthem is. If Anthem can have a turnaround, then literally like any game ever
See,
made.
I think that's
because
that's
Star
how I feel about
Wars
Fallout
did.
76.
Yeah.
Is
Saying-
if Fallout
yeah.
76 can
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is a way more loyal. I guess because Fallout.
I was
gonna
yeah.
say there's a hardcore dedicated fan base to
I would
Fallout
say
76.
so, probably, yeah.
It does
Just because they're Fallout fans.
Anthem. Is there a hardcore?
I don't know.
Probably. I mean, everything.
I'm sure there's like a hardcore fan base. I don't know how large it is.
Yeah.
But
Anthem.
To be ultra cynical for a second, I think part of the reason anything can have a turnaround is because I think about like how YouTube videos are titled in often just like the most like nail on a chalkboard way, and everybody's just playing the game. I understand, not hating the player, but I feel like people are trying to make content that is so emotional, you got to get those clicks, that I think there is a lot of appeal where you just let it cool and you have the thumbnail like Anthem is good now, right? Like that's an emotional thing. And I think with the way, like just the way people play games and the way that they cover them, there are so many people that can get their voice out there. And it's like, if you're a person who is willing to dedicate a bunch of time to Anthem, you could probably make a really detailed video and say like, no, it's actually better because of this and this. Like here's all of the things that they've changed. Like there are entire channels pretty much dedicated to Battlefront 2. And it's nice being able to get into Battlefront 2 and watch those guys. And it's like, oh, these guys absolutely know what they talk about. They've been here from the beginning. And it's just, I think games have a larger lifespan because the community is more visible in a way that it just couldn't be before. You know?
So true.
Like
the best.
for better or for worse, but yeah.
Yeah, for better or for worse. Right.
Yeah.
It's yes, for better or for worse is a good way to say it.
It's all about those fan bases.
Yeah.
Fortnite. They got me. Star Wars.
I think what's to maybe just throw in something else into this. I think what's kind of frustrating, it's cool. I think the reason why I brought this up is, despite us previously shitting on Battlefront 2 and having harsh things to say, we want games to be good.
Every
Absolutely.
time.
I like
Absolutely.
that I'm
Every
able,
time.
I'm like that I'm able to come on here and be like, this is good now.
Yeah, they turned it
feels
around.
awesome.
Yeah.
I want to cut someone up as Darth Maul now. I
Yeah.
want to sign on and
feels
just
good.
cut someone up.
Feels
It's
good.
been a while.
When you do the lightsaber throw as Darth Maul, it's the best.
Yeah.
And he also does the spin.
Spin.
You know what I'm
Nobody
talking
spins
about.
better
Yeah.
than Darth
He's
Maul.
a spinner.
Anyway,
He's a spinner.
I think what
He
is
took ballet.
a little bittersweet is I sort of wish this comeback potential was possible during the age of MMOs. Like there are some
Man, don't
long-
break my heart,
There
dude.
are some like long MMOs that I'm like, I wish this power still existed.
Star Wars Galaxies.
So I never got to
Yeah,
I
I
play
didn't get to
Star
play
Wars
it either.
Galaxies, and I like that's how people talk about it, and I wish I could.
Yeah.
You know, like
Probably really rough now.
so I was watching.
Well, they shut it down.
I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying if it was still up.
Oh yeah.
I
I mean, it was rough when it came out.
I was watching a video on like how like you originally became a Jedi.
Insanity.
And it was-
Because they didn't tell anyone. They didn't tell it. They were like, "Hey, it might just happen to you. It might not."
Right.
Yeah.
It was like actually insane.
It was
like no one would,
insanity.
in a
You had to,
really
like-
in kind of a really cool way. No one would ever
Yeah.
do this now.
No one would ever
but
do
it was
it.
like they didn't tell anybody, and you had to get like random professions up.
You had to legit like max stuff
Yes,
out.
yes.
But you could only have a couple things maxed at once.
And they didn't tell you what it was.
So you'd have to max stuff out and then unlearn it all and do something
and
else,
it would be like
dude.
different for every person.
Yeah.
Or, like it would be like the first person on a server that became a Jedi, everyone would be like, holy shit, and you'd be like a god.
Yeah.
Because you would be the Jedi on the server. And then people would be like, how did you do it? And then they would try to follow you, but it would be different for them. And so they would put in all that effort and not become Jedi.
So awesome.
It's insane.
That is messed up, dude.
We had-
You're trolling,
insane.
dude.
We had a godlike merchant, dude. We had a godlike merchant on our server on Tatooine that sold better weapons than you could find anywhere in the game somehow, dude. So he legit had a house on Tatooine that was also his shop, and you can set to when the door opens. So the shop opens, people come into his house, there's vending machines in the living room to buy weapons from this guy's house. Server crashes, dude. Outside this guy's house, 150 people. When I was a kid, it seemed like 150 people.
Yeah.
Outside of this dude's house, the doors are locked. Everyone is just running
into it.
to run as soon as the door opens. Floods into his house, dude, and you just like try to the vending machines, like infinite loading, trying to buy stuff from this guy.
That's
just
really
wild
funny.
stories.
That's out there laughing.
Yeah.
Man, it just like
That's awesome.
I get it. I get that this is the nature of these types of games, but that sounds amazing.
Wild
and
West.
I'll never get to experience it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that's
That was
Wild
like
West.
MMOs more Wild West.
Yeah.
I feel like you
So
can't do
cool.
that as much as like more popular MMOs nowadays.
I remember just like stumbling upon Jabba's palace with this random stranger because we grouped up for a quest.
And like
And then we were just walking in the wilderness, and he's like, I remember so vividly, we were out in the middle of nowhere, and he's like, do you think the devs are watching us and laughing? Because we were in the middle of nowhere, which
but
back...
you found Jabba's palace.
And then we found Jabba's palace, and you have to like do a lot of quests to get further and further into the palace, and it's like really hard to get into the final chamber.
That's how you want Star Wars to feel. Like
Yeah.
that probably felt magical and vast.
Yes. So cool.
Are we ready for some emails?
Yes.
Let's do it. Dude, Star Wars Galaxy.
I hope the new Lord of the Rings or MMO's good.
Dude,
They're
I
making-
really want to
the
play
old
Star
one-
Wars Galaxies.
Yeah. And thought you were going to say the Lord of the Rings
I did.
MMO was so
I
fun
want them-
too.
That's
They're
another one
making
that
a
I
new
never
one.
got to play.
They're making it's still
But
going.
it still
They're making
exists.
a new
yeah,
one. Yeah.
I could
Oh, an
I could
expansion?
play
No,
Lord
a
of-
brand new.
They are?
Yeah, it's not set in the same time period, but yes, it's another Lord of the Rings universe.
Who's making this?
I forgot. But yeah, I think it has people from the old one in it.
Day one.
I think it's like
Day one, I'm there.
2021 game or something, or
Okay.
2020.
Okay.
It's gonna be free to play. That's all I know.
Dude, then I'm definitely there day one. Are you kidding me? Lord of the Rings
There's
MMO,
a
let's
new
go.
expansion coming out for Lord of
For
the
the
Rings.
other one?
Yeah.
I
Dude, they're still
stopped-
making EverQuest
Yeah.
1 expansions.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. Dude, I want to talk to someone who's just been playing EverQuest for like 20 years. Yeah. Man.
Totally.
Well, write in if you've been playing EverQuest for 20 years,
Let us
please.
know.
Or
Even on and off. Even
I-
on and off. Because we're that with WoW.
Yeah.
That's 15 years
Yeah.
now, basically.
But WoW's still like king.
yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
I love people's MMO stories. I
Yeah.
love them. I love them.
Yeah.
If you
they're
got 'em,
fascinating.
share 'em. Our first email comes in from Paul. He says, somebody up there likes me. Over the holiday break, I discovered a game so up my alley I could balance a bowling pin on my nose. Hoop League Tactics on iOS. For less than a cup of coffee, may just be my game of the year. The way it abstracts basketball in a Final Fantasy Tactics-esque game of positioning, health, and stats management with a dash of franchise mode resulted in well over 30 hours played. It blew me away. Feels like a game made just for me, exactly how many folks love both basketball and JRPG tactics-style games, after all. And what kind of lunatic makes a game, a great game no less, about it? Thus, my question, has there been a game or games that have been so weird and esoteric but absolutely inside a niche you never knew you wanted? Games you are so glad exist you want to shout their praises from rooftops? If so, what? So it's not really niche. It's not a Hoop League Tactics,
Like
which is
weird
amazing.
games? Weird ones?
Well, just things that like you didn't know you needed, but you fell in love with in a really rapturous way.
So I got one. It's not like doesn't hold up or anything like that, but at the time it's Final Fantasy 11. So at the time it was my first MMO I ever played, and I never knew anything really about that. I hadn't really played online at the time.
Yeah,
And me just coming into this MMO pretty much by myself,
yeah.
just figuring out like what an online game is and just like people
was a
there
magical
was
time.
like really insane to me. Like it sounds so stupid now, but at the time I'd never seen anything like that or
Yes.
experienced anything like just
Yes.
someone walking in my world. I'm like, what? This is a real person? Like,
Yes.
so it's really special to me in that sense. But the game like does not hold up. I really love. It has a soft place in my heart, but it does not
Sure.
hold up.
Sure.
Great music though. The music holds up.
MMOs will never be the
Vanadil
same.
March.
Yeah,
What's that?
exactly?
MMOs will never
Yeah,
be the
it'll
same.
never be the same.
Right.
Just because the internet and
Right.
how much information there is nowadays, there's no there's not as much mystery and exploration now. Everything
Right.
is min-maxed. Everything is
Right.
meted.
Everyone's figured out.
Like-
You know, there's
It
no
was-
so much less discovery.
It was fun when like we didn't really understand the internet.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it
of
was like
course.
everything that we were doing was new.
Yeah.
It was like it's like you were saying, like just the idea of somebody walking in your world was magical.
Telltale.
Telltale.
Never big on adventure games growing up.
Yeah.
Never really dabbled in them too much. I think like Siberia might have been the only one.
Siberia, man. I played
That's
that with
a-
my dad.
that's a
Yeah.
shout-out.
Hell yeah, dude.
That
Siberia.
That gateway computer, dude.
That that time we were on Dell when we played Siberia. But yeah.
Just wasn't super into adventure games and wasn't into the idea of episodic games. And now
You're a big fan.
I'm a massive fan.
You were the biggest Telltale Fantasy Allies.
I love Telltale games. I love them all.
Wolf Among Us Season 2.
Dude, yes. I even liked Game of Thrones.
I
even like Tales from the Borderlands.
feel like I've been saying this for too long, but I gotta get caught up on Life is Strange just for you.
Yes.
That's what
Brad's
I've been
doing it.
Yeah.
Brad's doing
Yeah.
it. And dude, have you played the Batman Telltales?
I played the first episode of the Batman Telltale, and I really liked it.
Absurdly
Dropped
good.
off weirdly, but yeah.
Absurdly good.
Yeah. It was cool. It was
Yeah.
cool. Great. Always good
Yeah.
finding.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say mine.
Oh.
Not like a super obscure game or anything, but one that kind of springs to mind is I have a very strong affinity for Pikmin. And the more I think about Pikmin, the more it's just really weird. And like, I'm so glad that it exists, and I don't think too many people could get away with making a game like Pikmin. Like, yes, you can compare it to other RTS games, but the vibe that it has and the journey that you go on and the way that it controls is all so distinct. I wish more games felt like that, where it's like, this is just completely wholly original. Another game that deserves a special shout out and was from my youth, I was already way into video games at the time I encountered this, thanks to like Mega Man. But this game, I was like, video games can do anything. If we can do this, it was Parappa the Rapper. I remember that game, like just renting it and playing it on my rented PS1. I was like, I love you. Like it was so cool and had so much style.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. It was super like wild.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never seen
still
anything like
wild.
it. Yeah.
If you play Parappa the Rapper now, it's still this wild, weird, crazy game. Love it.
Wild and crazy kids.
Yeah.
Next email comes in from Hassan. Data analyst, marry life affecting gaming? ? Hi, allies. Like a couple of allies, I got married this year, April, and being a data analyst, I thought it would be a fun exercise to compare my gaming habits from last year to this. I wondered, having less time playing, would the quality of games I'd be increase as I would be more picky? I was able to do this because I write a mini review after every game since last year. Thanks, Brad, for the idea. So I took the data from there. So 2018 versus 2019. In 2018, I finished 44 games. In 2019, 23.
Gotcha.
In 2018, my average score for games I finished was 5.8.
Out of 10?
Wow.
Whoa.
That's brutal.
Jeez.
In 2019, 6.7. So less has been better, it seems. 2019 had 7 games scoring 9 and above. 2018 only had 6. 2019 had 7 games scoring 5 or below. 2018, I played 21 games scoring 5 or below.
Whoa.
We have to remember that I got married in April, so the first 4 months were me playing at the accelerated rate, so maybe that figure will drop even more next year. We'll have to see. On the upside, my wife played and finished her first game ever, Call of Duty World War II.
Oh,
So that was a huge plus.
I really liked that campaign.
never played it. Oh, the newer one. Yeah. I thought I was thinking of World at War.
Yeah, I was thinking of World of War II as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. The things we take for granted, though. Oh, boy. But that's an email for another day. Congratulations on your marriage and have a lovely year. Not really a question here. I just thought it was a really interesting
Yeah, sure.
email.
I played more games this year than last year, and I got married this year.
Apparently, he rated Metal Gear Solid 3 a 7 out of 10, so... No, it's okay. I'm just kidding. You can rate games whatever you want. But, yeah, I just kind of wanted to ask you, Hubert, like, do you feel like marriage has impacted your gaming time at all?
No, because we've been married for so many years. You know, we've lived together for so long. so nothing really changed in that sense.
Routine with each other.
Yeah, and she loves to read books. She reads as much as I game, like hard.
That's awesome. I'm envious of her.
My God.
I'm envious.
Oh my God, she reads books, dude. Like the most out of anyone you know, no matter what. She reads, always reading, always. Like, dude, I will get up to grab something from the fridge,
just instantly.
read a paragraph, boom. And she's like super good at like reading in noise and like reading a little bit at a time or a lot at a time. So it's like anytime I game, you know, she can just read a book and
cool.
That's that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me, Huber, where we've like, yes, we're officially married, but I feel like we've pretty much been married for a very long time. One thing that I really like, though, is I feel like Abby has gotten more and more into gaming. Like, we're pretty much playing stuff with each other all the time now, and I feel like it's something that we've been able to share more.
Nice.
Which is really, really cool. There are definitely games that she's not into, and that's totally fine. But, like, I played through all of Jedi Fallen Order with her, and that was awesome. It's just... I think what's really great about it is, like, obviously I love talking to you guys about games, but we are...
Married.
No. We talk about games in a very informed way where it's like, I can make a comparison to this. And you immediately understand what I'm talking about. We're playing games all the time. We've been playing games all our lives. And so it's just very entrenched. It's nice playing games with somebody that is not so entrenched, that it allows you to enjoy it in a totally new way.
Totally.
Where like, maybe you've seen this a million times, but they haven't. So it's fun, and it makes it fun for you again. Or they ask questions that you would never even think about. It's just, it's cool. And I think it's very healthy to play games with all sorts of people to get those perspectives. I don't do that, really. I just play games with my wife, but it's fun.
Hell yeah.
It's fun. Our last question comes in from Giovanna. Hotly contested topic at Easy Allies.
Oh.
We're going to bring it up again. Leaks are too common.
Leaks.
Hi, Allies. With Resident Evil 3 Remake leaked through the PlayStation Store,
That was a brutal leak.
we have again come across an all too familiar story of a leaked reveal. Publishers potentially spend millions of dollars on advertising for game reveals, and we don't hear about any repercussions for those that set them loose. We're in a digital age where essentially every medium leaks, but with our tunnel vision, the video game industry seems to have the most trivial leak sources, from marketing posters left around to random focus test recordings. I'd imagine all those involved with the project sign an NDA, but it feels like they don't even matter. Legal action isn't reported, so it feels like the risk for a leaker is small. I'm curious to hear the panel's thoughts and tips on how publishers could minimize or altogether avoid the risk of leaks, and what can be done to stop the leakers from posting, if that's even a possibility at all. Love and respect.
Yeah, I don't know when this happened, dude. When like leaking something like that became like journalism. You know, this isn't like a political situation. Like, their lives are not on the line. Like, this is a studio hard at work, passionately on a video game that they want to reveal to us on their own terms. And now it's some like, I got the scoop. You know, I'm cool with leaks if it has to do with some controversy at a studio, some abuse or something. Yeah, leak that shit. Whistleblow. Cool. But like, for game announcements, it is offensive. Because especially, I think of Resident Evil 3 Remake specifically because of the way that reveal would have gone down. They have their finger on the pulse, man. It is genius. Showing Project Resistance, a game that Resident Evil fans and everyone has been like writing off and been like, ugh, not this. Oh, we want Remake 3. You're going to show this? Oh, you're actually showing Remake 3. How clever, how awesome. Like, that whole vibe and thing was robbed. And it's like, oh, it is Remake 3? Oh, wait, is this... the whole thing was muddled if you watch our reaction. You know? So, it's not about the individual. It's about the studio, dude. It's about them wanting to give their game to us.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't like leaks in that sense.
I see where you're coming from. I really do. I don't feel like a lot of times anymore, especially, the leaks are coming from news outlets. They're coming from other online sources. And there's so many different ways a game can leak. Like, if a game leaks on like Walmart.com, that's not a news outlet's fault. Like that's already public. You're gonna get information. I think the issue is that in the digital age where like there's so many different ways to get information, there are so many different ways for things to be leaked. It's so easy to upload pictures. It's so easy to like, and I hesitate. Like I'm not interested. Like this person is talking about legal action and punishment and all of that stuff.
That's extreme.
I think like just personally, I'm not so bothered by it that I want to like bring the hammer down on these people.
I kind of do. I'm more passionate about this than spoilers nowadays.
Sure.
Because spoilers nowadays are up. A lot of the time, it is on you to block them. How gnarly and willing you are, to what lengths you're willing to go to protect things that you love from spoilers. Yeah. This you have no control of. It's just some renegade rogue out there
right.
spoiling the fun for everyone.
Right. Totally.
They have no right. They have no right.
Yes. But two things. One, I agree with you in the sense that it feels like everything is leaking. And I feel like so many times I'm going to an event, it's like, oh, like we already knew about that. We already knew about it. It's just, It just feels like it's happening with increasing frequency. Mm-hmm. The second thing is like, I get you, but at the same time, with how interconnected everything is, with there being fewer repercussions, I also don't think it's going to change. Like I don't think it's going to get better. As you know, as long
it's
as
up to the devs. It's up to the devs at this point. It's up to like Kojima type people. Christopher Nolan keeps a script of all of his movies in his own safe,
right?
And it'll never leave his sight. He gives it to the actor and he stays with him, right. And then takes it back and puts it in his safe. You know,
right?
So it's on the creators.
I do think if people in the press, if you are making an agreement with a publisher where it's like, hey, I'm going to sign this NDA and you're going to give me the code, and then you go and you leak everything. That should definitely be punished.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel like you are like
totally as a deal was made, you're going against it.
And I understand accidents happen. Like as somebody who records an hours-long podcast, sometimes you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. That's like there are like minor slip-ups. But if you're actively like, I got this press copy and I'm going to leak it online.
Dude, I slipped up at the Last of Us event and I felt horrible. I was like, oh wait, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Right.
You know?
But there's a difference between a mistake and like a conscious, like, I'm giving it away, I feel like. But like, I get it. I do think leaks are too common. I get that. You want the surprise. I want the surprise too.
But it's less about me wanting a surprise as much as it is me wanting the developers to have their vision and their reveal, you know? Right. It's not about the individual. That's why everything about leaks is so offensive to me. I get angry.
Yeah. I feel like you can even see it on stage sometimes. I think about Jeff Kaplan presenting Overwatch 2 and just how, in a way, he felt deflated because it's like, we've been working really hard at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And I think when you say it from that perspective, Huber, it does make me very sympathetic to developers. Like even like on a much smaller scale, there are videos and projects that I work on, and it's like if some asshole online just revealed it, I would feel deflated.
Well,
like maybe it's like, oh, this is halfway finished, and now I'm way less excited to work on it.
Spoiling your don't skips or something, you know?
Right, whatever it may be, yeah.
Yeah, it makes me upset.
But I think what I'm trying to say is what's frustrating is like I don't think there's a nice, easy answer here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know what could be done.
It's a boat that has too many holes.
There are a lot of holes.
It's not like there's one hole, or it's like, if we plug this up.
Totally. You mentioned marketing materials. That's got to be impossible.
It reminds me of like Street Fighter whenever the characters get leaked.
Yeah.
And Ono is just
like, destroyed.
Yep.
Yeah.
A creator passionately wanting to reveal something that they've been working hard on, and they can't because some mean person is like, I'm going to do it.
Well, I also think something to consider is development teams have also ballooned, and development teams are sometimes like it's multiple studios in different parts of the world working with each other. They have to constantly be sending information to each other back and forth. There's the more information you send back and forth, the higher chance that it goes out. Working with so I feel like this is a super shitty answer. I think it sucks. I don't think it's going to change. It's probably going to get worse.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because I think of, God of War and some things in that game that, didn't leak. And that's awesome.
Right. I know exactly
But those are more spoilers. There's a fine line between spoilers and leaks.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I do think it's important to consider, sometimes if leaks are revealing, hey, this is how they're planning on monetizing their game, and it's really shitty, and they're not talking about it.
True, yeah.
Right,
See, that kind of stuff, I'm cool with. But it's when it's revealing a game, that's specifically revealing a game and leaking a game ahead of a reveal is my...
Right. Unfortunately, you don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to have that filter.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking about with other things earlier. It's like you have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, I don't see how it's going to get better.
Well, that's an interesting note to end Frame Trap on.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Coming up on 100 episodes, thank you so much, Michael Huber and Brad, for jumping in, man. Like I said it last time, but especially this time, last minute jumping in. Super appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to send an email to us to have us chew on, the email address is askeasyallies@gmail.com. Once again, that is askeasyallies@gmail.com. If you want to find out more about us, go to patreon.com/easyallies. You can support us there if you like what we're doing, and you can see a lot of stuff that we're working on. We have different tiers that get you different things, such as getting this very podcast early, if that is something that you're interested in. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.